Welcome to Notre Dame Stadium for one of those special college football evenings. They've gathered from around America to take part in the annual renewal of one of the sport's greatest rivalries. Notre Dame 2017 has walked the walk. The promise of a program re-energized is now being recognized. A pair of game changers in the backfield have the Irish poised for a second-half run. The Trojans bring one of the nation's best young guns with a big future. Sam Darnold's heroics have already been added to USC history. Tonight, can he add a coveted road win at Notre Dame? For fans, this meeting marks the annual chance to touch college football history. Programs defined by championships, inspired by the sport's all-time greats. It's the Four Horsemen and Fight On, the Leprechaun and the Songbirds, the Green of the Irish from Indiana, the Purple and Gold from California. It's a game heightened by history and magnified by this moment. In primetime, under the lighting, awaiting the thunderous cheers. It's the Irish and the Trojans to wake up the echoes in us all. And it is the perfect night for the 89th playing of the greatest intersectional rivalry in college football. Good evening, everyone. Mike Tirico. Welcome to Notre Dame football in primetime here on NBC. These teams do not share geography or a conference, yet the rivalry has endured. It's the first time since 2009 that both teams are ranked as they meet. When you think about these teams, you know they've lost once this year, and we know the history, albeit brief, of the college football playoff. If you lose two, you can't make the Final Four. So in essence, tonight is an elimination game. Big stakes, big stars too. Biggest one, Sam Darnold, preseason Heisman favorite. Could be the #1 pick in the draft. How good is he? You can look and decide yourself on this big stage tonight. And whether it's a big name like Darnold or somebody we've never heard of, one, maybe a couple young men will enter their name into the lore of Notre Dame, Southern California, one of the great rivalries in college football. Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie and Catherine Tappan will join me right before kickoff. But first, down to the field, the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. A good evening to Liam McHugh and Chris Sims. Liam.
Good evening, Mike. Well, Mike really set the stage there, Chris. Some games all about tradition, other really defined by the stakes. This one, it's got both of those to take you back.
Yeah, it definitely does. My OU Texas days, certainly. Rivalries like this, they last all year long, Liam. Fans are always, hey, you're going to beat Notre Dame this year. You're going to beat USC. You get to the media day, the first the game of the week, and you go, wow, there's more media people in here than normal. And then that first time you step on the bus Saturday, you saw the bus there leading up to this. It is a different environment. There's more of a quiet intensity on the bus. You see guys are excited to go, shaking it. I was on one of those buses at Texas OU game once, and it's a lot of fun, and it carries over to the locker room. There's going to be more of a quiet, focused intensity in there as well. With these implications, it's a big time
event. That wasn't a quiet intensity in that bus. That bus was rocking. The guy who drives the bus on the field for USC is Sam Darnold. His own coaches call him a gunslinger. Is that accurate?
It's very accurate. Sam Darnold, first of all, I don't care if he's not in the Heisman race anymore or whatever it is. He is one of the best players in all of college football. He's unbelievable in off-schedule plays. He can move. He throws the ball phenomenally on the run. Then you see the arm here. Yes, against my Texas Longhorns, the post over the top. Big-time arm, can make all the throws. Yes, has he been a little careless with the football this year? Certainly. He carries the ball with one hand too much, and he can let his motion get a little long throwing the football, which can lead to errant throws. But regardless, he's a phenomenal football player.
For Notre Dame, their quarterback's Brandon Wimbush. He's only making his 6th career start, but he hasn't played since September 30th because of an injury and then the bye week. What does Notre Dame need from him tonight?
They need him to just scare USC's defense with the vertical passing game just a little, and then they need him to run his butt off. He is like having an extra running back in the backfield next to Josh Adams. He's a special runner. He's one of the best running quarterbacks in all of football, and it plays to their strength with that great offensive line at Notre Dame.
We met with Wimbush yesterday. He told us he's taking a puppetry class here at Notre Dame. Right now he's pulling the strings for an offense that's averaging 40 points per game. It's USC and Notre Dame under the lights. Kickoff coming up next.
This has been the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report.
What's in a name? In college football, it's the legacy of the game's greatest rivalries. There are Iron Bowls and Holy Wars.
The Utes win the rivalry game!
Backyard brawls and Red River rivalries. The game and the big game. Then there is this game.
Notre Dame takes over.
It has no nickname, but has given us everything. With roots back to Rockne, 9 decades of Hall of Famers, Heisman winners, and heroes of the sport. Whether in Southern California or here in South Bend, under these lights is one of college football's special nights. There is no nickname needed. USC Notre Dame says it all.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legends.
And as if the setting isn't perfect enough, no rain in the forecast. As they just announced in the building, unseasonably warm. Temperature in the upper 60s and about 77,000 began to cheer. It's the 259th consecutive sellout at Notre Dame Stadium. The home team has won each of the last 4 meetings in this series. Brian Kelly and the Irish had that home 1-point loss to Georgia, now number 3 Georgia. They've won 4 straight by a total of 107 points. And here come the Irish. Season 8 for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, 4-3 all-time against USC. His junior quarterback missed the last start, then the off week. Brandon Wimbush is back. He says his foot is 100%. And here come the Trojans from Southern California. Their only loss at Washington State 2 weeks ago Friday. Clay Helton, their third-year coach, beat Utah 28-27 last week at the Coliseum. This is where his tenure started 2 years ago. What a quarterback he has. Sam Darnold, some think the best in the country. His record as a starter, 15-2. Down to the field with Brian Kelly. A good evening to Catherine Tappan.
Good evening, Mike. Coach, here we are in an electric atmosphere for one of college football's greatest rivalries and high stakes with possible playoff implications on the line. How did you prepare your team for the challenge of facing USC?
Well, we've got to play better than we did the first half of the year. This is better competition, and we're going to have this the next 6 weeks. We've got teams that are nationally ranked, so preparation is similar, but there's got to be better focus tonight all around, offense, defense, and special teams, and our guys know what that means, and it starts tonight against a very talented USC team. That
talented USC team is led by quarterback Sam Darnold. How do you plan to limit his production tonight?
Well, one good way would be keeping him off the field. Very productive offensively for us. You know, obviously running the football, scoring. But look, there's no magic here. We've got to do a great job defensively and slowing him down. They're great on third down. He's a great player. But we've got to be really productive offensively. Keep him off the field, slow him down, and really take advantage of our opportunities where we've been really good defensively taking the ball away.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Notre Dame will be without senior captain linebacker Greer Martini. He underwent arthroscopic surgery earlier this week to repair a minor tear in his right meniscus. Senior wide receiver Cam Smith also out with a right hamstring injury that occurred during practice this week. For USC, the defensive line will be thin tonight. Starting nose tackle Josh Fatu was ruled out. He did not make the trip. He remains in concussion protocol following a car accident earlier in the week. And defensive tackle Kenny Bigelow Jr. announced his playing career is over this week. He has pursued a role as a student coach with the team. Mike?
All right, Tap, those are important. I'm going to ask Doug about those in a minute. Here's the Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie. You were out in Southern California, got to watch Sam Darnold practice, spend some time with him. What is it about him, Doug, that has everyone saying this could be the #1 pick in the NFL draft?
He just finds a way to win. He finds a way to make plays. Obviously, he's got all the tools. The arm strength, he's smart, he's got moxie. He has those tools, but he does things in an unorthodox way. And he's best when it's situational football. 2-minute offense, 3rd and 4th down, converting, moving the ball. He just finds a way to get it done, different arm angles, whatever it takes.
What does the Irish defense do to keep him in check?
You got to create uncertainty in his mind. What is he seeing? Are you blitzing? Are you not? In and out. You can't let him get comfortable, and you have to contain him in the pocket. And on the back end, keep it in front of you, make them go the length of the field, and wait for your turnover to come.
Catherine told us about the weak defensive line for USC in terms of depth. I think that's big. Notre Dame's a very good running team. Running alone, can they win this game?
Not running alone. I mean, Brandon Wimbush has to do his part, whether it's just the run-pass options and dump it in the flat or taking a shot downfield. He has to be efficient. But the main way to move the football is going to be hammer that football.
This is a terrific rivalry. It has been over the years. And I'm reminded the words of former USC coach John McKay. He told his players, we're back here together in the greatest hotbed of football, Notre Dame. And this is the game that typifies college football. McKay said, this is what it is all about. Soak it in and let's go. The Irish have won the toss. They will receive. C.J. Sanders awaits Chase McGrath's kick. Great Saturday night of sports. Glad you're with us. Off we go from South Bend. Good hang time of this kick. Sanders will bring it out from too deep. And he will be knocked down for a moment, or stopped at least at the 10, then finally taken down back inside the 10-yard line. Velus Jones Jr. made the last stop. Great coverage for USC. So here comes that terrific rushing Notre Dame offense. Let's look at the starters on the CarMax starting lineups. Josh Adams has had a sensational season, averaging 9 yards a carry. You can see a lot of Kevin Stefferson in the lineup tonight at wide receiver. The All-Americans on the left side of the line, McGlinchey and Nelson. Notre Dame's 5th in the country rushing yards per game. And orchestrating it is the aforementioned quarterback, Brandon Wimbush. Remember, just his 6th start. So when you hear he has to be a better passer, it's a process, and he is learning. We'll see how he does. They mark him at the 10. And it gets started with Adams left, and USC knows all about Josh Adams not going anywhere. Malik Dorton helping lead the rush for USC. Doug, we've watched Wimbush a little bit. Do you think the next step in his progression as a quarterback is about to come in terms of throwing?
It is coming, but it's coming slowly. Right now, he's been efficient at the mobile stuff, on the move, out in the flat. One area reads. He's going to have to start reading the field, and third down passing is going to start to be crucial.
After a loss of 1, 2nd and 11, Wimbush has time, takes a shot downfield, incomplete for Chase Claypool. Claypool had a step on Iman Marshall, the corner, but the throw was not accurate.
He's a double move down at the bottom of the screen. Gets bumped to the outside and takes off. Claypool had a shot. He beats the corner. Ball is thrown out of bounds. You got to give your receiver a chance to make a play on the ball. Marshall last week struggled with finding the ball in the air. A couple interference calls. Beaten on that play.
Wimbush has 69 pass completions, 68 rushing attempts. 3rd and 11, pressure off the corner. Wimbush just gets rid of it, and Adams cannot hang on. If he would have, he may have had a first down. Chris Hawkins brought the pressure from the secondary.
Boy, Hawkins coming off that edge. In my mind, I initially thought this was going to be a safety, and then it looked like it was going to be a big play coming from the right of the screen, and I thought it was going to be a safety, but once the ball was thrown, they had a play out in front if Josh Adams can hang on the ball.
So Notre Dame will kick it away. Tyler Newsome to kick. Jack Jones is back deep to receive. It has usually been Janae Harris for USC, but Jones will go back. He's been electrifying on defense with 4 interceptions this year. Good kick by Newsome, 49 yards, and from the 41 up the middle of the field. Good return by Jones. Leaping at the 45-yard line. He's down at the 43, so it'll be a great spot for Sam Darnold to take over as we look at the CarMax USC starting lineups. Ronald Jones, all the attention to Darnold. This running back has 8 touchdowns, averages 6 a carry, 3 terrific receivers, and Petit, a tight end with a couple of touchdowns last week. Toa Lobendon at the left tackle spot, getting him healthy and on the field has been very important the last couple of games. And SC fans glad to see Shima Ladoga, the right tackle, back after he's missed most of the last 2 games with a high ankle sprain. So here he is, Sam Darnold, 15-2 as a starter. Just a winner. Terrific athlete. Lost the snap. Mishandled it. Lost right away of 5 yards. Tavon Coney in there. He comes away with the ball, and the Irish have it. I thought Darnold had it back initially when he came down, but it was taken out of his hands, ripped out of his hands by Coney on the way to the ground. Notre Dame football. And another early turnover for Darnold.
It was kind of simultaneous possession on the way to the ground. The officials are saying that he was bobbling the ball, never had control of it again. And then on the ground, Notre Dame comes up with the ball. It was a high snap. I think it anticipated the snap, and it was a quick count. It got on Darnold in a hurry, didn't handle it cleanly, and then on the way to the ground, the officials were showing the bobbling sign.
Right.
So even though it was kind of simultaneous possession on the ground, it was still loose in their mind.
Sure, they're going to look at this here. There we go. They buzz down now to take a look at it in replay.
Both offenses look jittery early.
Exactly. So this is all ACC crew, the on the field and the replay group. They'll get a look at this one here, and this will give you a better angle inside there. But very, very hard to see with bodies surrounding Darnold.
There's no doubt in my mind that it was pulled away on the ground. But the official walking over to explain to Darnold was giving the bobbling sign. So in other words, in his mind, he didn't maintain or have possession on the way down. There, it looks like he has possession.
You can see Coney ripping it away from Darnold as they're going to the ground. And this ruling has been confirmed as a Notre Dame takeaway, and there's a good look as you see no knee down or body parts down. So 3 fumbles in the last game for Darnold, struggles early, and there, as you said, combination of a high and an earlier than anticipated snap all contributes to yet another turnover, which has been the story of the first half of the season for Darnold. So Notre Dame gets it at their own 49 to start drive number 2. And a designed run for Brandon Wimbush. Gets a first down to the 38-yard line. Pickup of a dozen for Wimbush. Marvell Tell, the safety, took him out of bounds.
Boy, those zone reads where he can take off and run will get him into the flow of the game early. Again, it will be the bulk of the game will be run game for Notre Dame and taking shots through the passing game.
From the 39, Durham Smythe, the tight end, with the motion. Here's Kevin Stepherson around the edge, using Stepherson's speed on the field to the 26-yard line. A first down pickup of 13 for the Irish before a John Houston tackle.
Stepherson is excited to be back in the lineup and getting a piece of the action. Could be featured today. He had a lot of touches throughout the practices, and here on a reverse going around, he has speed. He has speed to blow the top off coverage and pass routes and do things like that on reverses.
More of that will help Notre Dame's passing attack. Wimbush first down with time, firing end zone. It is touchdown! Equanimous St. Brown.
It's an all-out blitz. There's no safety in the middle, and Jack Jones, the corner, had his eyes in the backfield. Wimbush sees the route, lays it actually a little late, but lays it out there. Beautiful pass. St. Brown comes up with it. Beat Jack Jones. Jack Jones, exceptional corner, takes some risks.
And does there. Justin Yoon. It's the sound you hear. The Notre Dame fans chanting as he tacks on the extra point for the 32nd time. So another early Sam Darnold turnover turns into opponent's points. It was the opening snap. He couldn't handle it. Tavon Coney and the Irish pull it away. And then quickly, 3 plays down the field. St. Brown touchdown. 7-0. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the proven sports fuel. By the 2017 Lincoln MKX. By GE, Imagination at Work. And by US Bank. Felt like late September, not a later October afternoon. Tailgaters all over the place. What a weekend it has been in South Bend. And it is an interesting tale. Already more turnovers in half a season than he had all of last year. Another giveaway by Sam Darnold. That one on the opening USC snap out of the shotgun turns into 7 Notre Dame points. Justin Yoon kicking into about a 9-mile-per-hour wind, and it will be Velus Jones Tight roping the sideline. Turning on the Jets, and Jones brought down by Julian Okwara at the 28-yard line. You talk about the traits on the field of Darnold. One of his impressive traits, Doug, quick ability to forget about mistakes and get right back to the task at hand.
Short memory, resilient. This team believes in him. He has the ability to bounce back from turnovers, whatever adversity it is, and find ways to get it done as the game goes along. I've said that he has a tendency early in the game to try to be perfect, and then as the game goes, he gets into the flow of the game and just starts playing.
Drive 2 starts with 29-yard line. First chance to run a real play is complete to Tyler Vaughns. This freshman receiver emerging. 5 Irish players led by Nick Watkins, tackling him after a gain of about 7.5 yards.
Vaughns is explosive. He's coming into his own lately. Had an opportunity to play early because of an injury to Pittman at receiver, and he's really gaining experience, and he is dangerous.
Second leading pass catcher with 26. There is speed, as you would expect, all over the field for SC, including that man, Deontay Burnett. He has a first down tackled by Drew Tranquil, who plays the rover position for the Irish.
Well, Darnold comes out and hits 2 in a row. Nice firm passes right on the money. So he's not rattled from making a mistake. There's the interceptions this year that have been a little bit up, and the turnovers as well. He just put his 6th fumble on the ground. Not all his fault, mind you.
That's right. Some on zone read, some of those interceptions are tips, but still it's one more than all of last year. Here's a zone read run with a good running back. Ronald Jones the second. Averages 6 per carry. He only gets about 3 there against this Notre Dame defense. Really the story of the Irish turnaround this year, what they've been able to do up front. Jerry Tillery, a couple of unsportsmanlike plays in the USC game last year. We'll be watching him tonight. Tavon Coney has that turnover already. He's in the starting lineup for Greer Martini. Secondary will be tested, especially those safeties. That's a place where Notre Dame has hoped to grow as the season has gone on. Here's a great measuring stick tonight. Darnold 2nd and 7. Burnett, minimal gain, and Drew Tranquil, who has really thrived in this new defense. He's been all over the field all season long.
You know, he plays in space now. He was a strong safety. He's a little closer to the line of scrimmage now at that rover position. He enjoys the contact, but boy, he's explosive this year. A lot quicker to the ball. Coming up and tackling is very important for this Notre Dame defense today.
These are the downs that are going to be interesting. Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator, is great at giving different looks. What's he going to do in these situations tonight? 3rd and medium. Here's 3rd and 6. Darnold with time over the middle. Pass deflected. Good coverage by Sean Crawford, the nickel, in there for Notre Dame to break it up. And after one first down, USC will be forced to punt it away.
He's looking down the middle of the field, and he thinks he's going to get a curl route out of Burnett. Just turn and face me, and he slid a little to the inside to create space. Ball's behind him, incomplete. Notre Dame defense is off the field.
Walk-on punter, Reed Bedrovich, ready to kick it away. Chris Fink, who's been sure-handed for the Irish this year. Back to catch this high hanger. Does so at the 6. Made a man miss, and Fink with a nice return of 15 yards on that one. It was long this season. It's 23.
For up to $300 off on Google's exclusive wireless partner, Verizon.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news. Some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Blind Spot is back on an all-new night.
New tattoos. You're my wife, so whatever we face together.
Blind Spot returns on a new night, Friday on NBC.
Download the NBC Sports app to watch thousands of live sporting events. Stream for free with your NBC SN subscription. For details, visit NBCSports.com/live. Plenty of stuff on there this weekend as well. Back at South Bend, the Irish scoring after the USC turnover, leading 7-0 in the 89th renewal of this great rivalry that started back in the 20s. Rockne took the Irish via train out to Southern California. And they've been going uninterrupted since after World War II. Now, Brandon Wimbush, remember, he sat for a couple of years behind Deshaun Kaiser and Malik Zaire last year. Redshirting, getting the opportunity this year. He's turned it into a lot, and so has Josh Adams. The captain has been a very good runner this year, and the USC defense knows he's the one they have to help stop tonight. They're going to miss their nose tackle. As Catherine told you, Josh Fatu is out. Christian Rector leads the Pac-12 in sacks. Cameron Smith's their top tackler. Strong secondary, as you've seen. Marvell Tell has all the tools to play on Sundays. 2nd and 3, back to Adams. Pulling guard, gets a block. Adams has a first down out of bounds at the 38. Guy averages 9, he gets 11 there.
Going into this game, we're thinking Notre Dame wants to run the ball north and south. Nose guard out of the game. They're a physical football team. USC is a speed team. 2 good run plays so far on the perimeter.
And Notre Dame already dug 3 rushes of 10+ yards. And Bush first down throw as he's chased, using that running ability in the opening field, made John Houston miss and gets to the 44-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup. Okay, so he's not the established drop-back passer, but not a lot of quarterbacks do what this guy does.
He just made a positive play out of what could have been a sack or an incomplete pass. Turns you into 2nd and short.
2nd and 4. Adams, first down and more. Another big chunk. Adams to the 40-yard line. And an early flag down back by midfield here where that hole opened up.
Holding. Offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's on Quentin Nelson, recognized by many as one of the top, if not the top offensive guard in college football.
On number 71.
That's right. He can't commit penalties. He's so good. They said Alex Barr, 71.
Well, I was seeing Quentin Nelson put his man on his back about 5 yards down the field.
There's Barr, it's the senior.
Not that Quentin Nelson's hands haven't wandered a time or two. Just because it doesn't get called doesn't mean they don't wander once in a while.
So the penalty makes it 1st and 20, and Tony Jones Jr., who has been oft injured this year, is in the lineup and looks like he's got a lot of that speed back as he takes it into USC territory. Will move the chains. Cameron Smith with the tackle.
A couple of big offensive linemen getting out in front of him, getting on the perimeter. Notre Dame pulling their guards, athletic guards, getting on the corner. Bars and Nelson.
Jones, a sophomore, injured his ankle in the opener against Temple. Has been limited throughout the first half of this season. Kevin Stefferson on the end around gets a block on the edge from Jones and gets another first down. And Notre Dame is running the ball at will right now against USC.
And they have gotten to the corner on the right side 4 to 5 times in a row now with big gains.
I thought USC was the edge team.
Yeah, right? I was thinking north and south, up the middle, between the tackles.
From the 36, good rhythm here. Stefferson downfield. St. Brown, incomplete. St. Brown was the man who had a chance down the sideline, but just overthrown by Wimbush. 2nd time he's done that tonight. Isaiah Langley was in coverage.
Little stutter. Good job off a release of press coverage, which St. Brown has had an issue with some press coverage this year. There he gets off, beats him down the field, ball just a touch overthrown.
See Langley there, that's usually the spot Iman Marshall plays. The corner out for USC for the moment. 2nd and 10, the keeper for the quarterback. Wimbush again. Puts the shoulder down. Delivers the blow, gets the first down at the 25-yard line.
Pulls the ball, good read on the zone read, and gets on the corner, decides I'm not a quarterback, I'm a running back, and he runs like a running back. Puts his shoulder into Langley.
Notre Dame almost 100 rushing yards, and we're not halfway through the first quarter. Smythe, the tight end, was the motion man. Almost miscommunication on the zone read. And it limits Josh Adams' ability to get a gain. Just a yard there.
It's a scary little play already on the zone read that USC ran. It was a little awkward with the exchange. And there on this one, this ball could have ended on the ground very easily.
Need incredible ability to have that mesh between the running back and the quarterback.
It's where discipline within your footwork is so important.
From the 23, Wimbush rips it. It is caught. Touchdown! Kevin Stefferson. What a back shoulder throw and grab.
So Wimbush has been struggling throwing the ball down the field. Perfect post route, perfect back shoulder. And Langley's got his eyes on the quarterback. This ball couldn't have been placed any better. And Stefferson, a speed receiver that's just getting back into the mix, making a big impact right away.
Stefferson did not play the first 4 games. Brian Kelly was very clear. He got in trouble off campus last year, and Brian was very clear until he brought his ability to the levels and the standards expected by Notre Dame in terms of doing everything off the field. He wasn't going to play. Now he's back and he's playing, and he is proving that talent and all the buildup was legit. 24-yard score there. 10-play, 79-yard drive. Stefferson and St. Brown have found the end zone.
At Winter Olympics, February on NBC.
Kevin Stefferson had a big breakout performance last year as a freshman, 25 catches and 5 receiving touchdowns. We mentioned he was not doing what he needed to do on campus here. He's turned that around, and he's turned it around on the field. And they kept going after the corner because Iman Marshall has been on the sideline being looked at by the USC medical staff. So they took 2 shots at the junior, Isaiah Langley, the second one resulting in the touchdown. From 4 deep, Velus Jones brings it out for USC. And it was well covered by the Irish. And it'll be a long field for Sam Darnold. Robert Reagan, the sophomore, coming up with the tackle. So Sam Darnold's career, he's a kid from San Clemente, California, 60 miles from L.A. Boys, he put up good numbers in his early time. That Rose Bowl win over Penn State was one for the ages, and Darnold led the comeback. Start talking about great USC quarterbacks, the guys who've won trophies. Carson Palmer was 9-8. Leinart was 16-1. And here's Darnold, 15-2. And oft times he's had to bring his team back from a deficit. Same is true here. They go 2 tight ends. Daniel Imatorbhebhe is back in the USC lineup. And that's not helping anything. Ronald Jones is stuffed. Tavon Coney. We've called him a few times already tonight.
Coney scraping around and just sticks him in the backfield. Meets him on the other side. Lobanon just could not get to him. He got there too quickly. He read the play. Accelerated in the backfield, penetrated.
2nd and 10. Darnold will move the pocket, chased by Tillery. He'll bench it. Jerry Tillery, the junior, with a run at Darnold, and now it's 3rd down, and this Notre Dame crowd is engaged early.
Tillery moving right to left, just across it. He's playing the best football of his career so far at Notre Dame, and the most consistent. He is locked in.
Need to get to the 24. It's a 3-man rush. Nobody's open. Darnold great at keeping plays alive. Going to run for it. Not going to get there. Dalen Hayes, who originally committed to USC in the recruiting process, on the tackle. Trojans 3 and out.
3-man rush. So that means 8 guys are dropping in coverage. Find a window. Darnold's going to keep it alive. Secondary all over their men. We have an extra guy there in coverage. Little grab and pull. But no one's free. Darnold was on the move by that time. And he can't scramble. With a 3-man rush, I would look for Sam Darnold to hold the football as long as possible. Move around. Buy time for guys to find windows.
Reed Budrovich, wind at his back, hits a big one. 53 yards. Takes Fink back to the 29. Has room if he can get to the edge here. Great speed down the sideline from Bubba Bolden, the backup safety for USC. Cuts down Fink. A flag comes down. Flag comes down very late here. matter of fact, half the coverage team and return team were back on their sideline as that flag was thrown at the 32-yard line. Saw the intersection of about 3 or 4 players there, and we'll see what they have.
There is no foul for a block in the back. Timeout.
And we'll just do what we plan to do. Step out for a minute. Notre Dame up 14. They've got the ball. Be right back.
All rise for Premier League mornings tomorrow on NBCSN.
Leaving you with a game break. Number 19 Michigan, number 2 Penn State. The Heisman front runner is Saquon Barkley. His first touch of the game. It's on a direct snap, and nobody is touching him. 69-yard score. He's since added a 15-yard touchdown as well. Penn State leads Michigan 14-0. Mike.
Wow, Lehman, that Michigan offense continues to struggle. No first downs, -5 total yards to this point. All Penn State, in-state college, all Notre Dame and South Bend to this point. Irish take over the 31. Big run again. Adams nearly 14 yards to the 45-yard line. Marvell Tell takes him down. It's a first down, Doug.
Watch a double team on the left side of the line. McGlinchey and Nelson making a wall. North-south cut for Josh Adams. That's what I expect out of this Notre Dame offense.
You see 24 right above the 1st and 10 on the score bug. Isaiah Langley, he's still in. Iman Marshall, the starting quarterback, is out for the game for SC. Up top, Wimbush, incomplete. Contact downfield with Alize Mack, who was trying to get open, but no flag. Okay, so I told you about Langley in there because Marshall's out. Catherine Tappan told us from the sideline, left knee sprain. The junior starting corner's out for the game. Here's what happened a couple of drives ago. In coverage against Equinemius St. Brown. Really no direct contact, but you'll see right at the end of this play, he starts hobbling, went over to the sideline, examined, and he's out for the game with that knee injury. Wimbush here on 2nd and 10 is stopped. First good play from that USC defensive line, Christian Rector, Pac-12 sack leader with the stop.
Well, they brought the safety down into the box here, Chris Hawkins as well. And Rector's a stud. He's been throwing people around in the defensive line so far today. Between Rector and Green, they're going to have to make some plays. Those two individuals, 89 and 94 in this defensive line.
You said it. Brought a safety down in the box. That's quarterback speak for there's opening downfield.
There's an extra guy up there playing run. Take your shots.
USC showed a little bit of blitz there. Wimbush, this is his maturation process. See it, get him in the right play, pressure off the corner, and Hawkins gets to him and pulls him down for a big loss. Chris Hawkins, the 5th-year senior, with a 13-yard loss as he gets the sack of the Notre Dame quarterback.
Hawkins coming off the edge again. He came on the last play to clutter things up. This time, no one picks him up on the outside. If you're Brandon Wimbush, and he saw him come, you have a resort of throwing the ball away and saving that yardage. I know it's 3rd down, you want to make a play and move the chains, but sometimes it's better just take that thing and throw it away.
So Tyler Newsome will kick it away, and Jack Jones awaits back at his own 20-yard line. And we had movement by the gunner for the Irish. That'll cost them 5.
Start. Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And a couple of people moving. Julian Love also moved, 27. They'll get Jameer Jones, the backup linebacker.
Wimbush has so much confidence in his legs that he can run away from the rush a lot of times.
The thing with USC is they're down 2 touchdowns. They've got the speed to flip the field really quickly. One big play away. Jones from the 29 stumbles. Flag down. Works to the wall. Turns the corner at midfield, and he's out of bounds. And we'll come back and check the flag, which was thrown on the return back at the 38-yard line.
He has looked dangerous every time he's touched the ball on a kick return so far.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 54, 10-yard penalty, 1st down. Timeout.
So USC will start inside its own 30, 3-11 opening quarter of one of the great rivalries in the sport.
A place like no other.
The man on the left is the new offensive coordinator this year, Chip Long. Brian Kelly brought him in, and also brought in Mike Elko, 40 years old, on the right. They're the new offensive and defensive coordinators, and both have done a terrific job first half of the season. It's already better than last year. The Irish 4-8 a season ago, 5-1 as we start here tonight. Darnold, deep shot downfield. Wide open, Stephen Mitchell couldn't bring it in. The senior from Pasadena was running forever by himself, and they just couldn't connect.
Mitchell just takes off. They cleared out the coverage on the backside, so it's across the field throw. There's nothing to the inside. Throws it over to the opposite side of the field. Mitchell has to adjust to that ball. That ball's been in the air a long time. You've got to go adjust and get under that.
Home run shot was there. SC swung and missed. From the 28, Darnold. He gets out so quickly. Tyler Vaughn's the catch at the 35. It'll be third and about 3 coming up.
That first throw on the deep post there, though, Darnold held the ball a little long, so it became a further throw. So what you do as a quarterback is lead him across the field, let your receiver flatten to the ball, and let him go get it. Mitchell waited too long to start going flat to go get the ball.
USC just 1 first down its first 3 drives. The throw on 3rd and 3, and it is caught this time by Mitchell. Will get out of bounds. The senior from Pasadena has a first down in front of Notre Dame corner Nick Watkins.
Nice rhythm throw to the wide side. Watch his loop in the arm there. See him bring it low. That is going to be talked about when it comes time to be drafted, and the NFL gets a hold of it. He is accurate with the ball. He throws the ball from a bunch of different angles, a bunch of different ways. I have no problem with it.
The 44, Darnold whipping it again to Mitchell. They're working Mitchell this drive on Julian Love. And a gain of 9 there and a first down. So you see the whole deal with Darnold. The Jets were supposed to be terrible this year. They had New York Jets Sam Darnold jerseys back in August at Jets preseason games. The kid certainly has an option to stay at USC. There's a long time to go between now and then as he hands here to Ronald Jones. And he runs for the first down at the 44-yard line. And a lot of people said, Doug, you know, Darnold's numbers aren't as good. They put up the stats. You have to remember the cast around him has changed a lot. Offensive line and missing receivers as well.
14 guys from this team went to the NFL. 14. So he's missing some big play guys, but he continues to find ways to get it done. And he's very comfortable being behind here. He's right at home.
Jones to the right. Notre Dame got all over that. And Coney, again, he's been the defensive star this first quarter for the Irish. Kurt Heinisch also there on the tackle.
Tavon Coney starting in place of Greer Martini today. Maybe a little more athleticism. Greer Martini's more of a communicative guy, gets things done on the field, lining people up. Really smart ball player, plays downhill. But Coney adds the athleticism.
Irish showing a 3-man rush here. Coverage in zone behind. Darnold buys time and finds Burnett opening in the 20. Inside the 20, I should say, and down to the 12-yard line. So a big pickup of 32 for Darnold to Deontay Burnett, his top receiver.
I would be afraid to go 3-man rush on Darnold. He'll hold on to the ball, move, and Burnett makes a great decision to go up the seam off the scramble.
They jump the ball, and Ronald Jones carries to the 7. That should bring this first quarter to an end. So Notre Dame took advantage of a USC mistake and a USC injury to a corner. Jump out 14-0. USC driving as we start the second. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. Glad you're with us watching Notre Dame football. Blind Spot returns on a new night Friday, and she's fighting to get her life back, one tattoo at a time. Blind Spot returns Friday, 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central on NBC. Golden Dome shining brightly on this Saturday night. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan. Glad you're with us for USC Notre Dame version 89. Irish jump out to the 14-0 lead. Trojans best drive of the night. It continues with 2nd and 5 at the 7. Darnold fakes to Jones. Tillery chases him, and he'll gain 1 yard. When all is said and done, Coney waiting as well for the stop.
Tillery again with penetration and forcing Darnold out of the pocket. Darnold did something there that he hasn't been doing lately, though.
What?
As he stepped up, he tucked that ball under his arm and covered it up. He usually has that ball swinging around a little bit. He protected the football.
4 for the first down, 6 for the touchdown. Good coverage to start with. Darnold tries to escape. Can't get away from Okwara with the sack. Julian Okwara. His brother Romeo's on the Giants roster, injured right now, but Okwara comes up with the big play and a 10-yard sack of Darnold.
Well, Dalen Hayes gets pressure coming from Darnold's right side. Coming off the edge, number 9, forcing him out of the pocket, and then Okwara chasing him down. Darnold thought he was away, with the little stiff arm, thought he was away, just tripped him up.
Is there a flag thrown there? Let's see. I don't know what the conversation is with the officials. A question on the down box, perhaps.
Holding defense, number 31. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Yeah, it's not 31 on the Irish. Perhaps they meant Jalen Elliott, 21, his safety. Let's see. There's Elliott there, the pull down. Avima Torbebe, the tight end. That's a good call.
Absolutely. And it's an automatic first down in this area, or in any area, but in this area, it could have been a regular.
Please reset the game clock to 14:05.
Pretty much
14:05.
Pretty much any other penalties after this, this is an automatic first down.
This is a mess right now. The down box says third down. Clay Helton's calling a timeout. He wants to know what's going on. He's exactly right.
Timeout. USC, first time.
The 45-year-old USC head coach.
Could he potentially get the timeout back if they're changing the down marker from third back to first?
Not at that point. Talking about half the distance to the goal there. It was called defensive holding in the end zone. And Helton will come and get an explanation. He said, that's my fault. And Clay saying exactly what you said.
Exactly.
Do I get my timeout back?
Where's my timeout?
It'll be interesting. Common sense would say give it back to him. Let's listen here for a second to the call from the referee. And see if he will correct it.
Please reset the game clock to 14:16. 14:16. 14:16.
So Helton is just getting the game clock or the clock properly set. And Brian Kelly's trying to reconfirm that it's third down as well. Interesting.
I always thought defensive holding was an automatic first down in my book.
So moving half the distance to the goal to the 3-yard line. Clock is right. The scoreboard up top here says first down at the 3. Here you see in the upper right there. But the down box on the sideline says third down.
Now it's third up there.
Everybody's on the same page. It is 3rd and 1.
Maybe because it became a running play, he never threw the ball.
He was trying to throw it. It was a sack. But you're right, the rules are different. Jones the give, and he is stopped short of the line. Stopped at the 4. You're in that situation with half the distance to the goal because of the spot of the foul. So that would take precedence at that point, thus the reason why it becomes 3rd and 1, not the auto first down. Usually it gives that. He's going to go for it here on 4th down. Do you like this call a minute 12 into the game? Into the second quarter, I should say?
I would kick the field goal here. I'd get points. Yeah, I'd get points on the board.
You saw him say, go for it, go for it. Now he changed his mind and come back, go for the field goal.
I think he thought he was a little closer. They actually lost some yardage there.
They can bring in Chase McGrath. This walk-on, remember how good he was against Texas. Under that pressure, missed his first career attempt, made him all since. Bad snap, flags, whistles. The last 5 minutes have been a complete fiasco.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And Brian Kelly will choose to back him up and take it.
Now USC has a new snapper, and that ball was on the ground.
Wyatt Schmidt is snapping for USC. Damon Johnson, their freshman, concussion, back injury as well during this season. So he is out. Schmidt, who has snapped before, is snapping. And now a 27-yard attempt from McGrath. And he missed. USC was sloppy throughout that stretch. The operation looked clean. The kick was not. The lead remains 14. SUV when you can have an SUVW. By Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Untuckit.com. By Verizon, the best network and the best unlimited. And by ExxonMobil. Learn more at energyfactor.com. Over the years, so many great games in this rivalry. I'm sure you have a memory at home of one that sticks out. The 2017 version, 14-0 Notre Dame. Irish get the ball at the 20 after the missed field goal inside the 20. And nothing for Adams there. Cameron Smith, a top tackler for the USC defense, in on the stop.
Boy, USC got some momentum, hadn't done anything on offense, goes the length of the field, come away with no points there. Has to be extremely frustrating. And now an opportunity for the Notre Dame defense to continue to keep Darnold off the field.
USC went 11 plays, 63 yards, comes away with nothing. Wimbush gives good read by Adams, cutting to the outside, makes a second cut, and gets the first down as he puts his shoulder down for 14. Multiple cuts on that run for usually a straight-ahead runner.
Great job at the point of attack. He reads that, hits the hole, and now he's an athlete. Now he jump cut out to the outside, avoiding. So the long, lanky runner also going laterally.
He's tall for a running back, isn't he? 6'2". Here he goes again. Tries the inside, try to take the ball away from him as he gets 2 yards to the 37-yard line. What was he telling us when we visited with him yesterday, Doug?
He's learning to get small.
That's right. Why are you looking at me? Because I'm looking at you.
I've been small all my life, and he's learning to get small.
Well, at 6'2", it's so important for center of gravity. And he talks about having to bend his back and constantly think of that so he can keep that low center of gravity and not be brought down easily. 2nd and 7, Wimbush, everything covered. Buying time, taken off, first down. To the 47-yard line. J.J. Harris with the tackle. It's 9 on the ground for Wimbush.
Nice job keeping his eyes up the field. He goes to the right. He thought he had a curl route over there. It was the defender underneath it, and then he just turns into an athlete again. He's kind of one and done with his read. He's doing a good job of going to the right area. Then if he doesn't like it, he's out. Off and running.
It just looked like he gave it a second look that time, and that's what the Notre Dame staff is looking to see a bit more of. The 46 straight ahead power football. Gain of 9. If your defensive line is weakened on the USC side, Notre Dame says we're going to run right at you, that time with Tony Jones.
So this is Tony Jones taking it straight north and south. Sam Mustipher, 53, doing a nice job turning the nose, creating a gap.
Throw it out to Chris Fink. Trying to make the first man miss. Couldn't get to the 44-yard line to pick up the first down. So the former walk-on wide receiver who earned a scholarship in fall camp last year, just with a gain of a yard.
Looked to me like it took Wimbush a little while to get that ball out on a wide receiver screen.
Got Miles Boykin in at receiver as well. Wimbush pulls it, keeps it for another first down. To the 36-yard line before he's tripped up by Isaiah Langley.
Boy, Chris Hawkins was coming off the edge. He's in charge of contain. He closes down. So Wimbush just pulls the ball and goes around the corner. The zone read stuff, the quarterback runs have just changed the game. Just changed the game. You have to account for the quarterback for a runner, which leaves opportunity in the pass game.
This one was strung out by Houston, the linebacker, and his partner inside there, Cameron Smith, cleans it up. So it's going to be a loss of yardage for the Irish on first down.
So key for USC to win on first down on defense. Get Notre Dame out of sequence, out of down and distance, create some long yardage situations where Wimbush is not comfortable in the pocket.
This has been a USC season where they maybe have scored on a lot of first drives, but other than that, their first halves have been slow starts. That's why keeping it in a 10, a 14-point game is important. They tend to get better as the second half goes on. Too high for Equanimous St. Brown and incomplete, as Wimbush was way off the mark there, and it's just a reminder of fundamentals from Brian Kelly from the sideline.
He needs to shorten his arm action up on these wide receiver screen. Well, here he actually had Rector in his face and had to go up and over, and that caused the ball to go out of bounds.
Is that one of those different platform things that people talk about when somebody's flying in your face?
You know, sometimes you got to sidearm it around people, drift a little to your left, whatever. Find a way to get the ball there. 3rd and long.
Deion McIntosh is in the game for Notre Dame. Wimbush gets rid of it. It's caught by St. Brown. A lot of bodies over there, including Christian Rector. He and Chris Hawkins making a loss of yardage, and no thought of getting 5 or 7 to get in field goal range. Instead, it's punting time.
It was a blitz off the corner, so you're doing something safe. You're throwing a wide receiver screen. There's Rector coming from inside out. He's all over the field, and like I said, he and Green are all over the field. They throw people around. They chase plays down. That was a conservative 3rd down call because on 3rd and extra long, Brian Kelly does not want his quarterback to make a mistake and turn the ball over.
And you see Darnold. He's excited his team to get him back on the field. Down 14. Tyler Newsome hangs it high. Muffed. Irish have it. Jack Jones absolutely missed it. And Drew Traquel has it for Notre Dame.
This ball was extremely high. I felt uneasy about it coming down.
And it was knuckling, too.
He kicked it that rugby style end over end.
Dropped it straight down. Make it tough to catch.
Through the breadbasket and down. It's just a different type of ball to catch. A little awkward. Night sky.
A little bit of wind.
We got any other excuses?
No, they're factors, but he missed it. And now Notre Dame has a golden opportunity to really change the entire feel of this game. USC got to stop. They were going to get back on the field. And let's see if the power run team will run it between the tackles to try to make it a 3-touchdown lead. Wimbush on the edge. Tries to escape. Up for grabs and throws it out of bounds as Uchenna Nwosu, terrific edge rusher for USC, was coming in. And got Wimbush pretty good.
Yeah, Wimbush stayed on the ground a little bit, was wincing. What an athlete coming out. I still don't know why a stiff arm to the face mask is not a penalty. But he drives him hard down on that right shoulder.
You see, recoiled right away, and we saw that with Aaron Rodgers last week. But a quarterback's exposed, all that weight coming down right on that right shoulder. If he can't tuck, it can be a significant injury. 2nd and goal. Get to the left. Adams, patient, inside the 5, gets it down close to the 3-yard line.
Notre Dame has been great in the red zone because of the ability to run the football and their quarterback, Wimbush, being athletic enough to run as well. I wouldn't expect him to carry the ball. I would expect him to hand the ball off to Adams. He looks like he's hurting a little bit.
3rd and goal. They jump it quick. Here is Adams moving right. Adams keeps going, and he's in. Notre Dame touchdown. Josh Adams.
Hainsey and Durham Smythe with the double team on the right side gets movement. Allowed just enough of a crease for Josh Adams to sliver through. That's strong running, and he knew he had to run it. I'd take a look at Wimbush during this next series for USC.
And Jack Jones muffs the punt, and patience and power shown on back-to-back runs by the junior from Pennsylvania. And they're going to check on this here at the goal line.
On the field is a touchdown. That play is under further review.
Again, great movement on the right side of the line. He drives through. Does a knee touch the ground? His left knee is the first one to touch the ground, but I believe the ball is over the goal line at that time.
Jordan Iosefa, 56, is making contact. start piecing replays together where the knee comes down, where's the ball as he's reaching forward. Call on the field. And the first official to go up, I was checking the officials, was the field judge on the far side who was on the goal line there. Let's see here. Reach. It's right above that left knee was the first spot up.
It's not a definitive angle.
It's the ball there, and you can kind of see that left knee against the ground as it reaches right to the front. It gives you a good sense of when the knee comes down first. He's looking right over to see if he got in. He knows how close it was. He was trying as best he could to stretch that 6'2" frame.
Well, there's nothing we saw that would overturn it. It may stand.
And again, when I use the word stitch, they use that with the replay folks, putting replays together.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And you're right on that, Doug. Stands, not confirmed. Not 1,000% sure that he broke the plane before that knee touch. Stick with the call on the field, but not enough to overturn it. And the big mistakes by USC have really impacted this game. First snap, fumble by Darnold, turned into a 3-play drive for a touchdown. Yoon adds the extra point to make it 21-0 Notre Dame halfway through the second quarter. So that first turnover turned into a 3-play drive. The muff here by Jack Jones turns into a 3-play drive, capped off by the captain, Josh Adams. Notre Dame 21-0 over USC. Monday, a hostage crisis forces the team to risk it all to save precious lives. The Brave is all new Monday, 10, 9 Central, after The Voice, here on NBC. Irish all over USC early here, 21-0. Big hole for Sam Darnold and the Trojan offense to dig out of. Velus Jones from too deep, gonna bring it out. Momentum was taking him the other way, but Jones with a good return. Out to the 37 as Justin Yoon, the kicker, got out there to make the stop. Catherine Tappan.
Well, Mike, you guys are talking so much about Sam Darnold, and I had a chance to spend some time with his mother, Chris, this week. She told me Sam and his sister, Frankie, grew up on the beaches of San Clemente. They would go to the beach every day after summer sports camps, and there were very few sports that Sam did not play. His mom told me she's never been more proud of him than she is now. The way he's handling the pressure and the celebrity. He's so calm, and he seems like nothing phases him, and any free time he has, he always returns to the beaches where he grew up. She also told me right before this game that she's going to be very nervous, and I can't imagine those nerves have calmed down at all yet. Mike?
Yeah, Mike, his dad is working on the nails. Chris hanging on every snap. What nice people. Got to spend about 15 minutes with them yesterday. Wonderful people. What a great job they've done raising their son. He throws to Deontay Burnett across midfield and to the 45-yard line.
He's comfortable now. 21-0, nothing to lose now. Turn it loose. Just go play football. Put the ball in my hands. He wants the ball. Very accurate. He does have a little bit of a loopy action, but he's very accurate with the ball.
Four-man Notre Dame rush, fires, and it's intercepted by Nick Watkins. Watkins goes up to pick Darnold, and he's down at the 40-yard line. A third USC turnover.
Nick Watkins is responsible for the short, flat area. He baits this throw, drifts deeper, and gets under it. He's out to the left on the outside. He's underneath. And when he goes to throw the corner route, he pulls back. His responsibility is short. And then he drifts back under the throw on the corner route to pick it off. Great play. Great reaction. He just got moved into the boundary side this week.
The reaction from Darnold, who has thrown yet another interception this year, his 10th on the season. And Mike and Chris, who know their son's trying to engineer a comeback. Been a tough start for Darnold. Wimbush keeps this one on first down from his own 40. A beautiful spin move to avoid Rector and sent out of bounds to the sideline. Doug, this is interesting because now mistakes are compounding here, and this is going to be the continuation of the narrative that we talked about last week when we watched them play Utah. That Darnold's turning the ball over too much for a good quarterback.
No doubt about that. He's loose with the football. He's trying to force some throws down the field there. The fumbles have happened. He will bounce back, and he'll continue to sling it around, and he can put points on the board in a hurry, though.
Pressure comes. Go to the other side with the completion. That's going to be St. Brown at the 46-yard line. Jack Jones to tackle. It'll be third down for the Irish.
But playing the way he plays, the coaches trust him. They've won a lot of games with him, and they'll live with the mistakes because they know the upside. They know the ability to come back, to put it behind them and move forward.
And the Irish want to pick up a first down, let them sit on that sideline a little more, see if they can add points on this drive. Wimbush quickly, good play design. Durham Smythe, the tight end, first down to the 32-yard line. Terrific pickup of 22 yards with an Isaiah Langley tackle.
This is a pass play all the way. Looks like one of those RPOs, but it's not. It's a pass play all the way. Little delayed release to the flat by Durham Smythe. Fools the linebacker in coverage, and he's all by himself.
Looks like a play they've handed off on 50 times this year. Build that little pass on the back end. The joy of coming off an extra week. From the 33, Wimbush fakes it to Adams. Loden looking long, everything covered. Wimbush taking off 30 to the 20. Out of an arm tackle at the 15. Out of bounds at the 10. Four-star run, Wimbush.
If you coach Brandon Wimbush properly, he's looking at the post. The post was not there. He got hung up on it. If he had come back to the crosser, he would have thrown it. But he doesn't see the crosser, and he just said, I'm an athlete. Let me make a play. And then he sees an opportunity to score.
From the 8-yard line, it's the handoff to Adams, who will gain about 3. The Irish have run for nearly 170 yards just 25 minutes into this game.
When you have an athlete at quarterback, sometimes if he were to read coverage properly all the time and make the right decision, you don't get as many big plays. With a guy like Wimbush, let him take off and run once in a while because you're going to get those big plays. The rushing yards are definitely wrapped up.
USC taking a timeout.
Second charge timeout.
And you hear the Notre Dame fans, they love what they've seen. Irish going for a 4-touchdown lead after this.
Dante, what are you looking at?
Just trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Early fumble by Darnold led to a Notre Dame touchdown. He threw a pick. The Irish are driving here to go up 28-0 if they can score. It's second and goal from the 6. It's a toss to the left. Adams is stopped. Great play by Jack Jones. Known for his coverage skills, but both corners, Marshall's out right now, they are very willing tacklers in the run game.
The entire secondary and the corners. Jack Jones is a little guy, extremely athletic, confident corner. He's a shutdown type corner because he's going to take some chances, and he'll come up and stick it.
We're talking about Chip Long, the Notre Dame offensive coordinator. He was at Arizona State before his 1 year last year at Memphis, so he went up against USC with Arizona State, and he even commented, very good tackling secondary for the Trojans this year. Wimbush looking over. Irish will take a timeout here with a little confusion. They've got all 3.
Charge timeout. Notre Dame.
Before third and goal.
30 seconds.
It's been a terrific start for Wimbush.
Well, we said we know he can run the ball, but he had to make some plays down the field with his arm. Sure enough, nice job, a little drift away from pressure to throw that post. 2 of the best throws of the season for him. This back shoulder throw is put to the outside in a perfect position, and then he can always do this. This is him being an athlete and just using his legs. So the fact that he's made some big plays in the passing game makes USC have to respect it. It's opening up the running attack even more.
We were here Thursday, watched practice. Brian Kelly told us yesterday his best practice of the year for Wimbush. He was sharp. Things are processing faster, and that's the issue with a young quarterback who's been such a good runner. And again, he hasn't played football for 2 years. It's a new offense. We expect the microwave to spit out a ready-made quarterback season 1, snap 1. Process is going for Wimbush. It's working so far. Third and goal at the 4. Design run. Wimbush got a block. Got the corner. Touchdown, Notre Dame. The Darnold turnover turns into a touchdown by the other quarterback.
Josh Adams cutting number 7 Marvell Tell on the corner. Boom on the outside. Beautiful cut block for the outside thigh. Gets the edge.
And the hole gets deeper for Darnold and the Trojans here in South Bend.
Wasn't there a game back in 1974 that was 24-0?
24-0.
Okay.
Ended up 55-24. So you're saying stay tuned.
You never know.
Extra point added by Justin Yoon. St. Brown, Stefferson, Adams, now Wimbush. The 4 Irish touchdowns in the first half.
The Brave, new Monday after The Voice on NBC.
2 very different quarterback stories. Darnold, 2 turnovers have turned into 2 touchdowns. Wimbush, 62 on the ground, 72 and 2 touchdowns in the air. 28-0 and no return on the kickoff by Yoon. Time for top performances, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. 40 years ago tomorrow, right here, Notre Dame took the field against USC in green jerseys. First time in over a decade. Joe Montana throwing 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 more. The 11th-ranked Irish beat the 5th-ranked Trojans 49-19. Went on to win their 10th national championship. What a picture of Joe in that flashback. The man who inspired the decision for Dan Devine to wear those green jerseys, Richard Digger Phelps. And there's Digger in his seats at the 50-yard line, but up amongst the people. He's the coach. He wants to get the view of it. On my drive over from Ann Arbor here this week where I live, I called Digger. I asked him one question about that game. A half hour later, I was in South Bend. But it was great to hear the history and the story behind the green jersey game. One of the seminal moments of this rivalry. Darnold complete. Deontay Burnett tackled at the 33. Here's Catherine Tappan for more on that game.
Well, Mike, you talked about the green jerseys. I happen to have one of the originals from that 1977 team. It was worn by number 75. That was Jay Case. And he actually scored a touchdown in this jersey, believe it or not, when he blocked a USC punt. Now, this jersey, after the game, the players were given the jerseys to keep, but then the team decided they actually wanted to keep wearing them for the rest of the season. So players had to scramble to get them back, Mike.
And it turned out to be great as the Ronald Jones run is stopped by Tavon Cody for a loss of 2. And Catherine, a lot of the players from that 77 team are here. 40th anniversary. They were at the pep rally last night, honored during the game here. It's a huge weekend for that moment in this rivalry. Parallel to the resurgence of the Irish. And it's been a great celebration of one of the great Notre Dame teams here this weekend. 3rd and 4. A lot of the students who are on break this week have come back for this game. And they are making noise. Darnold out of his hands quick and caught by his receiver Tyler Vaughns. Has the first down in front of Troy Pride. DB seeing a little more action here tonight.
Gets a little zone blitz action coming from his right side. Little drift to his left and throwing the out to the left. These rhythm throws he's doing a great job of. And the Notre Dame defenders are playing a little bit soft. If Darnold's patient, they can walk the ball down the field.
Still enough time in the game to be patient. Here's blitz pressure. Picked up, but the rest of the protection breaks down. And Khalid Kareem comes up with his 2nd sack of the season.
He gets a little fooled on coverage. He thought he was going to have a throw to the flat to the left. The corner rolled up, took it away, and he ends up holding the ball and getting sacked.
Kareem out of Pontiac, Michigan did a nice job on Chuma Udoga going over the right tackle. The sophomore pass rushers have been big for the Irish this year. 2nd and long screen. Here's Jones. Nowhere to go. Dalen Hayes, also in that sophomore group from Ann Arbor Skyline High School in Michigan. Forces 3rd and long.
Dalen Hayes has been a pass rusher, athletic guy off the edge all season long. That's a tough tackle in space.
Over to the top, he committed to USC after the changes with Steve Sarkisian a couple of years ago coming into this game. Decommitted, opened up the recruiting process, ended up coming here, and he has been very good on that Irish defensive front. Darnold needs to get to the 48. Here comes Hayes, down away from him. Buying time. Anybody open? Nope. It should be just an incomplete pass. It'll be fourth down out of the tackle box. Brian Kelly saying the ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, which was the 30-yard line. It came close, but I think it was a couple of yards shy. In any case, it's fourth down.
Burnett was in the area.
Was he?
And off the drift to the left, he had absolutely nothing downfield. Burnett was actually in pass protection at the time and drifted back out to the right.
Good catch, Doug. I did not see Burnett. Minute 9 left. 2 timeouts for the Irish. Butterovich going to kick it to Fink. And a flag will back him up.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense, number 2, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
Just mistakes all night, all night long.
Start. I know they start slow, but this is more than starting slow. This has been a bad performance here for USC thus far.
First snap of the game, bobbled snap, turns into a turnover, and it just went downhill from there.
They were in a 14-point hole to Utah last week, 21-7. Rallied in that one. It was a high snap, too, from the backup snapper. The lefty Butterovich got it, brought it down in traffic. Fink, tough catch, and a terrific one, too, at the 46. The miscues you were talking about, Doug. Here they are.
Start from the beginning. Very first snap of the game. Maybe catches Darnold by surprise, a little quick on him. The bobble, go to the ground, cut your losses. Tavon Coney comes out with the ball. Missed field goal after they were down in close and could have had 7. Didn't get 7 out of it. Okay, take the 3. Drop a punt. You cannot play a good football team and come away, turning the ball off over as much as they're doing. Force the ball up the field. Now you're down by a good amount of points. You're trying to force the issue and come back. Be patient. Take your time. One play at a time. I mean, you play a good football team, 1 or 2 mistakes will kill you.
Right. And they've made 4 or 5.
At least.
Yeah. Great point. The Irish can add more here. They're up 28-0, 61 seconds, 2 timeouts left. Wimbush getting time, thinking about a shot play downfield, nothing open. Keep it alive, and this is what he's gotten good at. He gets out of the pocket, benches it, although St. Brown, the last second, broke free on the sideline. State Farm halftime report is coming up. Liam McHugh down on the field with Chris Sims. They'll have their view of this first half. Highlights from around college football on this mid-October weekend, and an even deeper look back at that 77 green jersey game that we told you about earlier. All coming up. State Farm halftime report. Design run, Wimbush right up the middle, got a couple of good blocks, including his center, Sam Mustafa. He's stopped by Marvell Tell, gain of 9, timeout taken by Notre Dame with 43 seconds remaining.
Second charge, timeout.
Until halftime.
Notre Dame, 30 seconds.
I don't want to say I'm shocked, but I'm really surprised. I never thought that this would be the way this game played out because USC is so explosive and their team speed is so good.
Yeah, I thought it might be a little bit of a track meet. I thought that Notre Dame would be able to run the ball. USC would throw the ball, but the Notre Dame defense has shut down Darnold, created turnovers like they've been doing all year, and the running attack, the ability of Wimbush to make the big play in the pass game has opened up that run game.
And Brandon Wimbush's growth, we talked about that starting the game tonight. I think Brian Kelly has to be thrilled, and Chip Long and the offensive staff, about how there's more progress in the passing game than we saw in the first few games this season.
No doubt about it. He hit that deep post route, but he also, the back shoulder touchdown he threw, the defensive back Langley was in perfect position with his tail to the sideline to see the throw, but it was so well placed, he didn't have a chance. So Wimbush is making some beautiful throws up the field.
Wimbush had a foot injury, suffered in the Miami of Ohio game. Did not play against North Carolina on the road. Ian Book, the backup, Eldorado Hills, California, did a nice job in that one. 3rd and 1. Wimbush keeping and getting the first down at the 40. With 40 seconds left, they'll stop the clock to move the chains.
1 timeout left for Notre Dame.
Justin Young's career long is 52. They'll kill the clock here with 36 seconds left. He's made a 46-yarder on the road at Michigan State this year, so you're thinking maybe another 9 to 10 yards to give you a comfortable shot.
And again, with the timeout, you can use the middle of the field. If you get past the first down marker, the clock stops and moves chains. There's plenty of time to get a handful of plays in.
He's got Chase Claypool in there in the slot, one of the 3 receivers. Good pocket, great protection. Over the top, just out of the hands of Alizé Mack, the tight end. He has become a favorite target, and the ball was laid out almost perfectly for him.
Mack on Houston, he ran a wheel route, which is an out and up the sideline from the slot position, and it's just out of his reach. He gets his hands on it. Big time athlete come over that play. He is. He can make that play. Just a hair overthrown.
17 catches on the season for Mack. So 3rd and 10 with 31 seconds left. Bush steps into that throw. St. Brown dropped the ball. It'll be ruled incomplete. Didn't finish the process of the catch. So a little bit of no man's land here at the 40. 4th down, 26 seconds left. See if he sends the punt team on. There is a wind. There is a wind at Yoon's back. It would be 57 yards, so too far. So they're going to punt it.
Wimbush is getting confident. That was a pivot route with tight coverage that he reared back and turned loose and put on the money. He hasn't made. He's made a throw here, a throw there throughout this season. Tonight, he's thrown 4 or 5 balls that were very well placed.
Jack Jones muffed the last one. He's out of there. And Janae Harris is back. There's a flag down. There's no Harris. And how about the turn signal Newsome put on that one? Right out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Could anything else go right for Notre Dame?
Or wrong for USC? Same thing the other way.
It just took a left turn and out of bounds at the 1.
During the kick, holding. Receiving team number 25. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Yeah, I did this on purpose, Coach. I did this. I put that hook on it. See this?
I think he did. Newsome's really good at that. So it's half the distance from the 1. So statisticians enjoy that half-yard penalty.
That's a beautiful penalty, isn't it?
It goes to the half-yard line here with 19 seconds remaining. So you can't just take a knee and get out of here. And if you're USC, you're thinking, you know what? The longest touchdown in USC's history is 97 yards.
Notre Dame.
The Irish take a timeout here to get themselves all lined up. R.J. Soward had a 97-yard. It's the longest from scrimmage touchdown in Trojan history. Interesting with Darnold. We want to watch him in the second half. He's going to throw a lot. Tell me about quarterback's mechanics here. What do you see, Doug?
Well, usually you like a quarterback to keep 2 hands on the ball a long time, high and tight. He'll loop it down under. He still has a decent quick release, but the ball comes downward first, looping around and up and over. I threw the ball very similar to that. And he is extremely, it's tough to be accurate with the ball, but he's accurate with it. Here, his shoulders are almost parallel to the line of scrimmage. Kind of an open stance, but he's got such good torque in his torso and his abs. He just snaps the throw, and he's very accurate. He does that a lot. When he decides something is open and the ball has to go, he doesn't care where his feet are. He turns it loose, and he's very accurate doing it. Occasionally one gets away, and that's where the criticism comes in.
So perspective on that .40 on the release. We see that. It was nice of Chris Collinsworth to lend that toy to you for Saturday night from the Sunday Night Football group. .3 of the elite guys, .29 seconds of the quick release. Those are the elite guys in the NFL. You also don't see NFL quarterbacks with that loop, and that's something that, as Darnold gets scouted before the next level, will be a conversation. For here, it works out just fine.
Yeah, the windows get tighter. From decision to throw the ball out has to be just a little quicker at the next level.
Got to get some push and get some space here. Inside the 1, Darnold will use that frame to avoid the safety and take us to halftime. Notre Dame's played some good games this year. That's their best half of the year. And their fans let them know about it. SC gets the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Don't forget the halftime performance of the Notre Dame band, including Chicago, by the way, the group. That's on NBCSports.com. You'll have Liam McHugh, Chris Sims of the State Farm Halftime Report after these messages and a word from your local station.
Notre Dame 28, the Cardinal in gold of USC nothing. But coming up next, we take a special look back at the birth of the Green Machine. The State Farm Halftime Report continues right after this.
New tattoos.
Friday.
With Ray Herman on sax, Tris Imboden on drums, Wally Reyes on percussion, and its composer, Robert Lamb. This is 25 or 6 to 4.
Back here at Notre Dame Stadium. Welcome back to Notre Dame Stadium. Lee McHugh here at the halftime. Now, back in 1977, Notre Dame and USC played one of the most memorable games in this, the greatest intersectional rivalry in college football. 40 years later, Sports Illustrated's Tim Layden looks back.
A football jersey is just a few pieces of cloth stitched together to form a big shirt. Yet on occasion, a jersey can mean something more, much more. 40 years ago, on a Saturday afternoon in October, USC came to South Bend to take on the Fighting Irish. A few minutes before kickoff, Notre Dame players massed in the tunnel. A gasp rippled through the sellout crowd. The Irish were wearing bright green jerseys.
And the green and gold are on the field at Notre Dame.
It had been 14 years since a Notre Dame team took the field wearing green. These jerseys were not just pieces of cloth. They were sartorial adrenaline. They were Superman's cape. The man behind the jerseys was none other than Irish basketball coach Digger Phelps, a man who believed in fashion statements and motivational ploys.
You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
On this day, Notre Dame had warmed up in blue and then found green jerseys awaiting them in the locker room.
We will be the Green Machine.
Riding an emotional tide that never ebbed, the Fighting Irish crushed the Trojans, 49-19. Joe Montana threw for 2 touchdowns to Ken McAfee and ran for 2 more.
Montana takes it on the quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Irish.
The Trojans never had a chance. The great green jersey game was the springboard to history. Notre Dame was transformed into a true green machine, winning its final 6 games by a combined total of more than 200 points. They did not wear blue again that year. And on the 2nd day of January in 1978, the Fighting Irish rolled over Texas in the Cotton Bowl by a score of 38-10, a victory that wrapped up the national championship.
We're the best football team in the United States.
They wore white that afternoon in Dallas, with bright green numbers glowing in the Texas sunshine.
Band Chicago on the field with the Notre Dame band, entertaining the fans here right now. The Irish lead the Trojans 28-0. We're back right after this.
This has been the State Farm.
Back here at Notre Dame Stadium, you're looking ahead to the second half. If there's one guy in the stadium who believes that USC can come back, who is it?
Yeah, it's Sam Darnold. So this game's not over completely. It's not going to be easy. They need to throw the ball every down, extend the game, make it longer. Notre Dame, run the ball, be really conservative in coverage on defense. Don't let up any big plays.
Right now, Notre Dame leads USC. It's 28-0 at the half. Third quarter is coming up. You know, this year, of course, Notre Dame football lost one of its most iconic leaders, legendary coach Ara Parsegian. Today, we take a look at his contributions off the field and how they continue to change lives.
When I come back on campus, it brings back
Irish.
He comes away with the ball, and the Irish have it. Firing, end zone, touchdown! Equanimous St. Brown! Wimbush rips it. It is caught. Touchdown. And he missed.
Stop till we're legend.
Muff. Irish have it. Adams keeps going. And he's in. Wimbush got the corner. Touchdown Notre Dame.
Stop till we're legend.
Forget this season, several seasons. Many Irish longtime observers can't remember a half against a good team that the Irish play this well, and the converse for USC. A lot of USC fans wonder when's the last time they've seen the Trojans, other than that Alabama game to open the season a year or so ago, play so poorly. 3 turnovers, nothing on the ground, and 28-0 at the half. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan. We'll see if USC can mount a second half comeback, beginning with the kickoff return. Bayless Jones back to his own goal line to get it. Tavon Coney continues the momentum of the half. At the 23-yard line, he brings him down.
What a night for Coney.
Yeah, here's Catherine Tappan.
Mike, I talked to Clay Helton at halftime. He told me we can't turn the ball over like this against a tough Notre Dame team. He said we've got to start running the ball better to take some pressure off of Sam Darnold. But Brian Kelly told me he expects USC is going to use their passing attack game here in the second half. He also said the way they started the game, the Irish getting all over the Trojans, is exactly how you have to play this USC team, Mike.
It's a good perspective to set that tone in the locker room for this Notre Dame team. Everyone has seen USC and how quickly they can put together drives like they did in the second half last week against Utah. Ronald Jones is part of that. They commit to the running game even though the score is lopsided, and gain 17 right out of the gate with Jones.
Going north and south, we see Coney stepping up and get blocked to north-south cut. We've seen Ronald Jones go 80 yards on those simple plays.
Dalen Hayes made the tackle on Jones that time. The gain was 3 for Ronald Jones. And a touchdown in 13 consecutive games, the most since Anthony Davis, the great back in 1974. This is second down, and the pass is complete to Stephen Mitchell. He's one of the few Trojans who had a good first half, and Mitchell's brought down at the 44-yard line, a gain of a dozen. So 28-0 at the break. It's the second largest lead in the series in Notre Dame's history. They once led 31-0 over USC at halftime. Doug referenced the famous 24-0 game that turned into 55-24 when all was said and done in favor of the Trojans. Cedric Ware. He gets a short game there. Tempo from the Trojan offense. Jerry Tillery, Jonathan Bonner combined on the stop.
Good patience by USC on offense to run the ball, short passing game. The first drive is so important for momentum in this second half for them to come out, be patient, just move the chains.
No changes on that front from the start of the game. Same 5 on that offensive line. They haven't opened many holes here tonight. Darnold's going to take off. Niles Morgan will stop him at the 39-yard line to pick up a 3 for Darnold. And Sam Darnold's only lost 2 games. His first start against Utah when he took over a team that was 1-2 at that point. And then the Friday nighter 15 days ago at the Palouse in Pullman against Washington State. Turnovers there was a big hole that they couldn't dig out of. And USC took its first loss in the conference. 6-1 overall, 4-1 in the Pac-12. Darnold steps into the sack and is brought down by Dalen Hayes. That is his 3rd on the season.
Dalen Hayes working on the left side, just bull rush, pushes his man Lobendon back up top, just pushes him back in the lap of the quarterback and then underneath. Here he comes, push him back, and then Darnold starts to step up, and there's nowhere to go. But it's 4th down, they're going to go for it already.
And the right tackle, Chuba Nova, 70 just came out. Austin Jackson, 73 is in. New right tackle for USC. They give us some help over there with a tight end. 4th and 6. Hayes is over on that side to rush as well. Trojans need to get to the 34. Darnold throws behind the pressure and gets the first down to Deontay Burnett. And USC keeps this opening second half drive alive.
Boy, these quick rhythm throws, he is dynamite on. I mean, good footwork, the ball is out. And that's a wide side out thrown right on the front number.
Tight spiral Great vision on the field. Run by Jones. Not going to go anywhere this time. Julian Okwara, who had a sack in the first half, comes up with the tackle. You know, there's something cool about Darnold. I know he's struggling here, but Catherine showed you earlier. They turned it over. We couldn't get into it. He played baseball until his sophomore year of high school. A terrific basketball player in his high school, too. And some of those point guard skills. He sees the field. He's, as you said, Doug, not going back sideways. He's going back parallel to the line of scrimmage, taking a look, seeing the field, and ripping it like that. Open to Vaughns. Got rid of his man. Vaughns at the 10, and is down at the 5 as Drew Tranquil pursues to make the stop. A gain of 28, and here comes USC's passing offense.
Vaughns just turns his defender around backwards and does a double move for the corner route. But Darnold took a little bit of time, let him work open, and hits him in stride. Watch Tranquil chase this from behind and almost strip the ball. Something Notre Dame has done all season long is go after the football. He took a good hard swipe at it.
It's a period in their practice every day. Turnovers from the 6. Jones, Tranquil, nothing.
Again, a good patient drive, though, for USC. Short passing game, some running to get first downs. One big play there on the corner route. But you have to set momentum. You can't pay attention to the scoreboard right now. You take one drive at a time.
Two freshmen next to each other, right side of that offense, 72 and 73. Darnold's rolling that way, fires on the run. It's broken up by Nick Watkins. Interception earlier. The senior from DeSoto, Texas, had thoughts of going to USC during the recruiting process with the pass breakup.
Well, it's a quick out route again for Burnett. And this time Watkins being down by the red zone in the goal line. He's not backing up at all. He's breaking forward and coming downhill, gets a hand on it.
Third down in fourth down territory, given the score of the game. All the receivers over here to the right. Darnold coming this way. Slant is caught by Mitchell. It sees on a body. Rolls into the end zone. Touchdown USC. Stephen Mitchell. And that's what they do. Right down the field.
That was quickly. He's coming underneath off kind of a pick play, but there was no contact made. Just a little screen. Watkins couldn't get through it. Touchdown. You only needed a few yards. Looked very similar to a play that got picked off in a Super Bowl once.
We'll see Malcolm Butler tomorrow night. Patriots and Falcons. Flutie sneaking in a promo. They're going to just confirm that touchdown upstairs because Mitchell was pulled down on the body of Nick Watkins. The question was, did his bottom hit the ground, or was he completely on the Irish corner, Watkins? And then where was the ball when that happened?
He definitely rolls over.
Yeah, they're going to confirm this. See there, he came down on his arm, didn't come down on the field. The ball was right near the plane anyway. So the touchdown has been confirmed. USC is on the board. And Chase McGrath's extra point makes it 28-7. 5-yard touchdown pass. Took 5 minutes. Sam Darnold showing you some of what's made him so good. The skill, the ability, and no hole too big to dig out of. Trojans.
CFNA credit card. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Notre Dame football is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. By Firestone, whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. By the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, America's power professionals. And by CarMax, drive what's possible. Talking about all the history of these two great institutions, all the Heisman Trophy winners. Over the years, you see some of their images, many of them watching different places around the country. Folks who've been a part of this, make sure they stop and take in the latest edition of Notre Dame USC. Good return here. C.J. Sanders to the 35-yard line. A nice field position to start for this Notre Dame offense, which is led, Doug, by a great left side of the offensive line.
Mike McGlinchey, Quentin Nelson, they have been doing this all year long. Watch the movement they get, the push, and they come off a combo block and pick it up. There's perfect timing and push down the field and pass blocking all day to throw. Stonewall their men. It's been going on all season long. This is the heart of this offensive line, the left side, the upperclassmen, the preseason All-American, the midseason All-Americans.
And there they are next to each other as they have been. They've played every snap that they've been in together, next to one another. And they lead some space with Josh Adams across midfield, pursued from behind. Isaiah Langley brings him down. Not until he's in USC territory at the 44-yard line.
Again, running the ball off to the left side. Gets a little crease and takes off. This is where USC needs a stop, right? Little momentum, get yourself back in the game. And when you can run the football, it takes away the variables.
Not just run it for 21, first snap of the half. Now the run to the right and gain 1 yard. You mentioned it, Doug, as you were showing the highlights of those two terrific kids over there on the left side for Notre Dame. They were preseason All-Americans, first team for Nelson, second team for McGlinchey, and also mid-season All-American. First time that the Associated Press has done mid-season All-American team. Those two guys right where they were forecast to be.
It's just the camaraderie of the two. They've worked so hard together throughout. McGlinchey coming back for another season.
You saw the Pro Football Focus rankings as you break down their numbers during the year. That pass caught by St. Brown. And Equinemius St. Brown gets a first down to the 26. A flag is going to be thrown here, I believe, for ineligible downfield. It's one of those RPOs that sometimes...
ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Come on, Coach. It was a running play. They called a running play. I went to block my guy.
Again, RPO is run, pass, option.
Yes. So Bars is on his man. The contingency. The problem is they got movement. They're driving their man down the field.
So they're 5 yards downfield. The area is 3 yards in college football.
Such a gray area that's been going on and then getting away. They have to reduce that down to 1 yard and just make it. If you go downfield, you can't.
A lot of the college football rules are written for a game that's not played anymore. It's a different game. We implore the rule makers to make ineligible downfield 1 yard like the pros, not 3. As Jones carries the 44-yard line, he'll set up a third and long.
In the Canadian Football League, the offensive lineman could be downfield as long as they weren't engaged in a block.
You know, just because you won 17 MVPs in the league doesn't mean you have to tell me how great it is all the time. Flutie did it.
Just the rule could be worse. The rule could be worse.
It's right. 3rd and 10 for the Irish here at the 44. USC brings an extra pass rusher. Wimbush on time. On target. First down, Chase Claypool. Speaking of Canada, the sophomore from Abbotsford, British Columbia, keeps the drive alive.
Nice patience on Wimbush's part, throwing a deep curl route, look comfortable in the pocket. He's doing some things tonight he hasn't done this year.
One thing they do, they pick up a first down, they snap it within 15 seconds. They jump the ball and get on you. Tony Jones Jr., that's 8 quick yards. They're going to mark him a gain of 6. Catherine Tappan?
Well, Mike, I asked offensive line coach Harry Heastand what he's seen from his group since the start of the season. He told me that he sees them understand more about the plays they're running. He said the complete understanding of what we do connected to what they do against the defensive line and what's going on behind them. He said when you have a better picture of what it looks like behind you, now you know what's in front of you, and that has influenced them, Mike.
And Tap, that's experienced players and guys who've been around, and seniors on the left side, the center Mustafa, the right guard Alex Bars. The newness has come at the right tackle. It's been sophomore Tommy Kramer's in there now, 78. Or 72, Robert Hainsey, a freshman. They've about split the snaps. It's all working. Jones got a first down. Pitch it back to Stefferson, trying to get to the edge. Eludes one man. There's a flag down at this block. And it will not gain yardage, and it will come back as Wimbush tried to help out Stefferson coming around the end.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 7. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Sometimes on an interception, I mean, rarely do you see a quarterback called for a block in the back. I'm trying to think the last time I saw it in that situation.
You got to let that guy go and head upfield. What happens is you always underestimate where the defender is on reverses. You really do. You think, oh, he's good. I'm getting around them. The runner's going to get around them. And then you turn around late to go get him. Just go upfield and get the next guy. Or get out of the way if you're a quarterback.
So the penalty makes it 1st and 20. Wimbush climbs the pocket. He takes off. And Wimbush inside the 20 to the 10. And a first down. Hey, 10-yard penalty on me. I'll pick up 20 on the run. Wow.
His eyes are up the field. He didn't see anything. There was nothing upfield open. Tuck it and run. He's showing more patience before taking off right now. And he knows he can always rely on his legs.
First and goal, Notre Dame. Wimbush keeping. Wimbush at the 5. And in for another touchdown. Brandon Wimbush is having a night.
Watch Tony Jones with a block for his quarterback. Turn it back up inside. St. Brown with a block, his wide receiver. Nice vision, nice cut. Skill position guys out there making blocks. It's contagious. Offensive line's blowing people off the ball. Get some blocks.
St. Brown, too. The wide receiver was out there. Wimbush has thrown 2 touchdowns and thrown for 85 yards, but he's also now gone over 100 rushing yards again this year in a game. And he's got 2 touchdowns. Justin Yoon adds the extra point. He got hit as well on the back end of the point. Jack Jones using that speed off the edge once has been offside, and I think here roughed the kicker. They ran into him, so they'll tack it on to the kickoff. So they all came to see Sam Darnold. Brandon Wimbush is the quarterback of the night, responsible for 4 scores. His second.
Chicago Fire, new Thursday 10/9 Central on NBC.
Big day tomorrow. NASCAR playoffs continue. Elimination race at Kansas Speedway. Time to cut them down to 8 in the playoffs. 3 Eastern. NBCSN. Martin Truex is on the pole. He's already in. Jimmy Johnson's big story. 7-time champs trying to hold on to one of those spots to get in the final 8. So it's a big one to watch tomorrow on NBCSN. Velus Jones brings it back. USC going to the 27. By the way, that kickoff came from the 35 because it was running into the kicker, not roughing the kicker, which it should have been. It was a missed call by this officiating crew who's not having the best night.
All rise for Premier League mornings tomorrow on NBCSN.
Sometimes you need to see the game. See 7 of 17 for one quarterback. He's not really having a good day. We'll keep reading down the page, Doug, and it shows you the quarterback that's having the star night tonight.
Stats are overrated. I mean, Sam Darnold could wind up having a 300-plus night. He's at 70-something%, and Wimbush is under 50%. But Wimbush is having a night.
Most points Southern California's given up all year. They gave up 30 at Washington State, their only other loss of the year. Ronald Jones with the carry, tackled by Niles Morgan, the captain, the senior from Illinois.
Jones took a little bit of a shot there. He's coming out of the game. But to start the drive off with a run keeps the defense honest. Sam Darnold's going to be slinging it around the rest of the game.
They bring in no running backs. They bring in Velus Jones, wide receiver. So it's truly empty here with no backs in the personnel group, and the Irish bring pressure because of it. Pass is caught by Stephen Mitchell down the sideline. Couldn't stay inbounds. Mitchell keeping his big night going. 5th catch. He's got the only touchdown for SC.
Sam Darnold's timing on these outside routes, when the corners are off, he's throwing late. It's a gimme. It's a layup. Stick it in his chest, and the receivers can turn those into big gains. That was close. Mitchell almost stayed in bounds.
You see stays in this personnel group, keeping running backs off the field. You watch scores go by from other games. Deontay Burnett through the Crawford tackle. Cuts back inside on Nick Coleman with a beautiful move. And retracing his steps, Crawford makes the tackle at the 28-yard line. Big gain there.
This is what I'm talking about. It's a simple throw. You have off coverage. He's deep. Just run the hitch route in front of him and then let your athlete go to work. That's the same as throwing a 18-yard in route.
24 on that gain. Here is Darnold working with Burnett to this side. Couldn't bring it in. As the pursuit was coming from Khalid Kareem, forced Darnold to get rid of him.
when you're in this mode of coming back and slinging it around and throwing the ball on every down, incompletions aren't bad. Incompletions are fine. You're probably going to go for it on 4th down. Just don't turn the ball over. Don't get greedy. Just keep moving the chains. Get your completion.
They remain with the 2 freshmen. Andrew Voorhees at guard, Austin Jackson at tackle. They're both on the right side. Beat up on the offensive line all year. Chuma Edoga has been out last couple of games, essentially with a high ankle sprain, was injured earlier in this quarter. This play is blown dead.
False start. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Stephen Mitchell, the wide receiver.
That frustrates coaches when it's a receiver away from the ball. It's not an offensive lineman that has to get to a block. 90% of the time, the wide receivers can't hear the cadence anyway. So you should just be looking at the football. Eye the football. When the ball moves, you move.
Interesting experience for Clay Helton, the head coach, a 45-year-old. He came in here 2 years ago, the week after Steve Sarkisian was placed on leave, eventually let go as the USC head coach. And Helton had to take this team over for the 2nd time as an interim coach. Pressure here on Darnold. He escapes. Beautiful job by Darnold, who on the run picks up the 1st down as he takes it to the 16-yard line. Niles Morgan, the tackle. That's a good snapshot of the great skills Darnold has.
Just great quick feet. Watch. Step right, step left, and slip through. I mean, he unblocked. Trombetti was unblocked. Darnold, athletic enough. Good change. For a guy that looks kind of thick, very good change of direction.
6'4", 220. We talked about what a good athlete he was at so many levels. Basketball point guard. The 16-yard line, looking left, wide. Open is Burnett for the touchdown. Beautiful play design. Gave the space to get it to Deontay Burnett, who has his 7th touchdown of the season. And USC gets its 2nd touchdown of this 3rd quarter.
Little pump fake. Looking outside like it's a wide receiver screen. It was Nick Watkins that fooled, drifted inside. Watch number 7 at the top of the screen go inside. Both defenders drifted inside. Burnett, cakewalk.
Quiet, silent type, Deontay Burnett.
He's a great route runner.
Really is, right? Watching him on film this week, I agree. He's got 8 catches on the night. Has a touchdown for the 7th time this year. USC staying in touch. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns this half. 2 passes from Darnold to 2 of his better receivers. Stephen Mitchell Jr. first. Deontay Burnett there. Really good Premier League morning tomorrow. NBCSN at Wembley. Tottenham and Harry Kane. He's been fabulous this year, taking on Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal. Before that, the build-up with Rebecca Lowe and company begins 7:30 Eastern Time. All rise for Premier League mornings. A stunner. Manchester United lost to Huddersfield. It's a huge upset. It means it's a great chance for Tottenham to jump up in the table tomorrow morning. So start your day with us on NBCSN tomorrow morning, and then at night, of course, the Sunday night football game. Kevin Stepherson, kick return here, made 1 miss and 2. Trying to do a lot, not much there, and he's down at the 16-yard line. So we talked about the 4-win season. Time to go to work and reconstruct the Irish. Brian Kelly brings in new coordinators, and a lot has changed. Look at the run game difference this year. Coming into tonight, 308 yards. Red zone offense rolling. Mike Elko's defense already equaled the takeaways of last year. They've added to that, and they're turning takeaways to points, and that's been the equation tonight. 21 points off turnover, and that's the difference. And it's a very different vibe, Doug, for the fans on the West Coast who haven't been watching us on these Notre Dame Saturdays. The whole vibe around this place is drastically different from a year ago as Adams runs up the middle. He's got so many big runs this year. Can he take this home? He's gone. Touchdown again, Josh Adams. yards. Yet another big run from Adams. And another Wimbush and Adams 100-plus combo platter. Both over 100 yards again. And at 273-yard runs already this year. Add 84 to that. Add another unit point. It is 42-14.
Well, Alex Bars at right guard takes his man down. Takes him and pushes him past the hole. Nick Wisher, 82, the tight end, pulls and gets a kick out on Rector. Look at this hole. And Josh Adams, when he smells a chance to score, he's gone. For a big man that runs physically, yards after contact, on the goal line, everywhere else in the field, falling forward, when he gets open field, he still has the speed to go all the way.
Doug, he came in averaging 9 yards per carry. Tonight he's averaging 10. And that 84-yard score certainly adds to that.
Coach.
Yes.
He didn't have to get small on that one.
No, he didn't.
He stood up straight and ran.
Josh Adams moving up on a whole bunch of Notre Dame lists. Over 2,000 yards, quicker than George Gipp. That 9-yard per carry average, second in the FBS. Chance to move up there. Bryce Love at Stanford, who we'll see at the end of the season at the top there. The yards after contact, leading the NCAA. He's had a good bunch of yards after contact tonight. Not on that run.
No, not on that run. That was beautifully blocked. Alex Bars closing it down and pushing to create space. Nick Wisher on a pull, tight end, with a kick-out block on a big defensive end.
No return. Guy's done it all, hasn't he?
Amazing. I mean, he always falls for it. He's a big back. He runs a little bit upright. He's learning to lower his shoulders. He drives through. He keeps his, he talked about keeping his feet moving. Keep his legs going on contact. Fall forward, step through. Again, breaking tackle. It's yards after contact with him. And this was a great cut. I mean, there's a man in the hole, little jump cut to the right and sliver through, get skinny. Not just small, but skinny. And then the north-south track meet. And he does compliment the offensive line so much. I mean, he goes back to them. He talks about it in our meetings. How about blocking? Getting on the outside. That is a perfect throw block. When you cut a guy on the edge, you want to aim for the outside thigh, and he nailed it.
And add his 174 yards to his career total. He's got 2,728 yards. He has passed Jerome Hevans from the 70s on the Irish all-time list. He's now number 6, behind only Julius Jones, Darius Walker, Vegas Ferguson, Alan Pinkett, and his running backs coach here at Notre Dame right now, Autry Denson, who's the Irish all-time leading rusher. Speaking of Autry Denson, he's right there, and we talked about him with Josh earlier this week. Autry's picture's up in that running back room as one of the all-time running back greats for the Irish. Stephen Mitchell with this catch at the 30-yard line. He's brought down. We asked him, does Autry ever remind you about what he did? He said, all the time. It's a big picture right there in the room to remind us who's the all-time leading rusher at Notre Dame.
But Josh did say he wants us to be better than him.
Autry does.
Autry does.
And thanks to that offensive line, he's got a great chance. Levi Malapai bouncing it to the outside. He's in. Remember, Ronald Jones came off the field during that last drive, a bit shaken up. So the redshirt freshman from Hawaii, Malapai, has checked in for USC. They continue to play without Stephen Carr, the freshman from Gardena, California, who's missed the last 4 games with a foot injury, who showed up very well in that Stanford win that the Trojans had in week 2 of the season. On first down, Sam Darnold. That pass that he has thrown often and often perfectly tonight, Doug.
Yeah, I don't know if one's hit the ground. I don't know if one's hit the ground. This was a little underthrown, but the other one's been front shoulder right on the money. But it doesn't hurt them. It keeps them in bounds and allows them to turn it and go upfield. You know, Notre Dame does not want to give up the big play. They're playoff coverage. But when you take those little completions, last drive was just over 2 minutes.
So Jones remaining sideline, and Malapai runs to the right side. We talked about Darnold and the many different layers of his great story. I had a chance to talk to his high school coach, Jamie Ortiz, who told us a great story about the selflessness of this young man. You may have heard the anecdote. Ortiz texted him after that tremendous comeback in the Rose Bowl and that emotional win, and just let him know, hey, your life's going to change. It's just going to be different because everyone's going to pay attention. And he told me that even though his life has changed around, hasn't changed internally. His high school coach told me he's still the same kid that played for him at San Clemente High School. In some trouble here, Darnold brought down, sacked by Jay Hayes from the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is in the house. And Darnold is shaken up, limping back to the huddle.
Jay Hayes coming from up top. Gets a little push and around the edge. He said there were opportunities of bull rush. This is a straight bull rush. Push him off, come around the corner, and bring Darnold down. Jay Hayes, a little extra motivation. He said that USC really didn't want to offer him. They offered someone else first. He didn't like that. Went to Notre Dame.
He got that left ankle.
Charge timeout. USC.
You know, I'm guessing here that Helton might have called that timeout to get the look at Darnold here with that ankle.
Yeah, he's your starting quarterback, your number one guy. The situation with the score, what it is, you might think about getting him out of the game if he's nicked up. He's a competitor. I mean, he's the kind of kid that goes home and plays basketball hard.
Yeah, Matt Fink is walking into the huddle here.
So he doesn't want to come out, but Fink is very athletic. When he gets on the field, he had a chance to get on the field a couple of
weeks ago. You're right, at the end of that Oregon State game, and as Hayes is trying to pull him down, you just see pull on that left ankle. And the concern with Darnold as he was limping back to the huddle, and they are going to bring him out and bring Matt Fink, the redshirt freshman from Rancho Cucamonga, into the game. And it's a very good sharp eye on that USC sideline. No reason to keep pushing it. So here is Fink, who's only thrown one pass. It was a 12-yard completion. He did the most damage in the running game against Oregon State. So USC down their starting tailback, their starting quarterback for the moment. And here goes Tyler Vaughns into a pile of blue Notre Dame shirts across midfield at the 48-yard line.
Fink took off, long touchdown run. First time he touched the ball, boom, off and running. So he's athletic. He's more the runner than Darnold is. He's not throwing the ball much.
And this is what you love about this. You see him yelling at everybody, I'm fine. I'm fine. Checking his ankle.
Get me on the field. Yeah. I want to go back. Give me the ball. Give my helmet. Don't you dare touch my helmet.
That is Sam Darnold in a nutshell there.
Timeout, coach. I want to go in.
Quarters come to an end. After 3, USC trails Notre Dame 42-14. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local station. What a night so far for the Irish. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Sam Darnold back out there as the fourth quarter begins. This one snap to check on his ankle. It is a fourth down he returns for as this fourth quarter begins. 4th and 7 for the Trojans. Each team 2 touchdowns in the third. Irish bringing the heat. The Darnold pass is incomplete. Looking for Vaughns. Coverage over there by Troy Pride Jr. No flag. And Notre Dame will take over on downs. Helton very unhappy with no call there. Well, it's a frustrating night, but there's always something to uplift this USC team, and it's Jake Olson. I think a lot of you know the story. The young man who is vision impaired has snapped twice in games this year against Western Michigan and Oregon State on extra points. Born with retinoblastoma, cancer of the retina. Both eyes were removed during his youth, one at 10 months, the other in 2009. He was around USC's practices during the Pete Carroll days. High school long snapper. He played golf, would shoot in the 80s, stayed around the team, wanted to prove himself as a long snapper, and snapped off 2 perfect extra point snaps with great assistance in class in the Western Michigan and Oregon State coaching staffs to help make it feasible for him to do that. And Olson's on this road trip tonight. Flea flicker attempt here for the Irish. Wimbush throws, and it's caught. Stefferson with the catch at the 29-yard line. 23 on the game. And a first down.
Well, Notre Dame went with a flea flicker. Wimbush holding on to the ball, moving around, going for the jugular. Hangs on to it, makes Cameron Smith miss, staying alive.
Irish keep going. Back to Stefferson again. Has Alize Mack blocking for him. And Stefferson gets it to the 17-yard line. John Houston making the tackle.
Jefferson's had a big impact tonight. Just getting back in the mix in the last game with a handful of snaps. Tonight he has been featured.
Two runs, 3 receptions, Doug, after just 1 reception in the first part of the season. Back to the air again for the 17. High toss, incomplete. Intended for Durham Smythe, the tight end. I just want to go back to Olsen for one last second. And I thought Clay Helton said it best to us last night. You know, the USC famous fight song is Fight On. And he says he is Fight On. That young man right there. He defines it. He defines it for us as a program. He could have every excuse not to do it. No matter what, he has come and worked very hard. And they're so proud to have him as part of what they do every day this season. Adams spins for the run for 3. They said the only odd thing about having Jake here is one opportunity to come to Notre Dame and be a part of a USC team coming on this trip. The only thing they miss is Quebec, his service dog, who's been around practice all the time in Southern California. He didn't make the trip, but Jake will be reunited with Quebec, and he with the USC team coming up when they get back to the West Coast tomorrow. Great young man. At the 14-yard line, it's 3rd and 7. Adams just seeking space, looking for the end zone again. Another Notre Dame touchdown. Adams makes it 48 points on this magnificent night of offensive dominance.
Now he gets a little bit small here as he got Bars and Mustard working a great double team and push. Finds that crease again, had to squeak through there. And he's got a knack. When he sees that goal line, when he gets closer, has that opportunity, he finds it.
3 on the night, 8 for the game. Josh Adams touchdowns. Justin Yoon's 7th extra point. I had no idea what was going to happen tonight. I never thought you'd see this. Never. 49-14. ND. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. By Bose, get closer. And by Microsoft Office 365. Unseasonably warm late October evening here in South Bend, and it has been all Notre Dame leading USC 49-14. Josh Adams tying a career high with 3 touchdown runs. Brandon Wimbush has thrown 2, run for 2. Short kick. Velus Jones going to take this one from the 7, and a holding flag is thrown on USC. So it'll come back. Holding on number 2 of USC, Bubba Bolden.
Doesn't get too much more obvious than that one.
10 yards from the spot, first down.
During
Moving
return,
along here.
Holding. Receiving team, number 2. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Here's Catherine.
Well, speaking of holding, what am I holding here? Well, just over 2 decades into this rivalry in 1952, the Alumni Club of Los Angeles for Notre Dame instituted and came up with this idea. It's a jeweled shillelagh. It is the trophy that is awarded to the team that wins this game. Now, it's modeled after a Gaelic war club. The jeweled shillelagh trophy features medallions in the forms of emerald shamrocks and ruby Trojan helmets that indicate each year's winner. Guys, this is the original trophy. They ran out of space on it, so a second one was commissioned in 1995. That one will be handed out tonight, Mike.
Tap, they trusted you with the original shillelagh.
Yes,
how about
they
that?
did.
See?
I know, it's amazing, right?
They don't know you well enough.
They know I love my jewels, though, right? I got green emeralds and rubies. I mean, I may take this thing home with me tonight.
See, I told you they should.
That thing's disappeared more than once or twice over the years.
It has. Matt Fink has come in at quarterback. Darnold's night is done.
For defensive pass interference.
There's
second down.
The shillelagh. You see the emeralds and the rubies signify the winners of the series. Those are made. A local jeweler here in South Bend makes those. The thick stick is typically used as a weapon back in the day, and as you said, it's traded hands multiple times. The Irish are racking up the trophy wins. They beat BC. They have the Leahy Bowl. They beat Michigan State. They got the megaphone. Now they'll have the shillelagh as Fink, who had a big touchdown run of 51 yards against Oregon State, runs here to the 30-yard line. They'll go for the Legends Trophy here. And Stanford coming up at the end of the year, trying to do the complete trophy sweep. It was Clay Helton telling us that they like to go for the trifecta in their big meeting room, beat Notre Dame, and the years of the teams that beat Notre Dame go on one wall, win the victory bell against UCLA, as Cedric Ware carries to the 37-yard line, and then try to get to the Rose Bowl. And last year they were able to accomplish all three as part of a magical season. USC will remain alive here for the Pac-12 championship. They control their fate in the Pac-12 South. USC fans get frustrated when they hear that after a setback, but they're going to hear that, and it is true, as they go through the balance of their schedule.
In the Pac-12, their defense is set up to primarily stop passing teams, spread it out, sling it all over. The one team, Stanford, that would be similar to what they're facing tonight in Notre Dame, of the power football, and that's why they struggle. They're not built for these kind of teams, and the running attack showed.
You see, the Pac-12 is going to have a national issue coming up here in terms of the playoff. Everybody's going to have multiple losses except for Washington and Wazoo, and we know they will meet in the Apple Cup around Thanksgiving weekend, and one of them would need to get through clean to that and then win that game to have any one-loss team then try to get through, if they can get there, the Pac-12 championship game. The only hopes, and they're very dim, of a Pac-12 team being a part of the college football playoffs in the last four. Whistle before the snap.
Ball start. Offense. Number 73. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And we'll get into it deeper here as we go into the fourth quarter, but Notre Dame's first half of the season was 5-1, and they had the 1-point loss here to Georgia, and Georgia continues to roll. They look terrific. Number 3 team in the country. And then you said, oh, the other wins were against teams that weren't very good. BC is looking really good now. BC's scoring points like they're going out of style. What's happened, Flutie?
I do not know. I do not know. They have struggled for 4 or 5 years to get points on the board. The last 2 weeks, they've got a young kid at quarterback that can actually throw the ball now and run a little bit. And the defense has always played strong.
Stephen Mitchell to catch there, first down to the 45-yard line.
But look ahead to next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here as we go through the next 10 minutes. North Carolina State next week for the Irish. But those earlier wins against Boston College and Michigan State look better, as both the Eagles and the Spartans are playing good football right now. Sparty with a late win today. Fink contacted as he throws downfield, incomplete. Pressure coming from, once again, Drew Tranquil, who seems to be everywhere. Sometimes you feel like there are 2 guys wearing 23 on this Notre Dame defense. He's so ever-present around the field.
All over the map. Said it earlier, he kind of changed position. He's a true strong safety type that is playing in the box now. Down as a linebacker, part of the front, but he likes being in space, and he just comes downhill. He's stronger and quicker than ever.
2nd and 10, Fink will pull it, and the redshirt freshman from Rancho Cucamonga is taken out of bounds on the Notre Dame side of midfield, the 48-yard line. A true runner changes a little bit when he comes in. We talked to Clay Helton about Fink last night. He's still developing in the passing game, and obviously there's a gap when you have a Sam Darnold and you have your backup quarterback who's just seeing his first college experience.
You start to see what we saw early in the year for Notre Dame and Winbush. That's the run-pass option stuff, the movement stuff of the quarterback, and the quarterback runs.
And USC confirming for us that Darnold is done for the night, but no injury. There's no purpose at this point to continue to expose him to this. Khalid Kareem, for the 2nd time tonight in there in the Notre Dame turnover and sack story. Big part of their turnaround this year.
Kareem working on Jackson, just gets his hands off him in a hurry, slaps the hands down, speed rush to the outside. The next step of that progression is go for the ball on that sack. Go strip the ball. Quarterback doesn't see you coming.
4 sacks for Notre Dame tonight, or 5 I should say, so it's 18 now on the season. They had 14 all of last year. And Kareem with 2 of them. Budrovich line drive boot. Fink will go play the 2-hopper at the 9, running to his own man, and get to the 26-yard line. Just inside of 9 minutes left. one of the more impressive performances of the season against a ranked team from Notre Dame. Mop-up duty he's had. And the sophomore from El Dorado Hills, California, gets to play against Southern California. There's Wimbush, 2 more tonight. And he's knocking on the door of the quarterback single-season Notre Dame touchdown rushing record.
Ian Brooks, a kid that we saw throw the ball around a little bit through the spring. Started the North Carolina game, throws the ball on rhythm, spins it.
He was the number 4 quarterback last year, and Brian Kelly's spring goal was find out who my number 2 quarterback is. His book lowers his shoulder. He goes out of bounds, which they'd rather him not do. The O-line's there to come get him. He's starting against North Carolina. Next week, North Carolina State. The Wolfpack, a very good team, off to their best start in 15 years with Dave Doran. Their offense scored, and they have a defensive front. I don't know how many times you've seen them. You've seen them a couple of times. I'm really looking forward to next Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, they've been putting 35 points a game up, 6-1. They have a defensive mindset of you don't want to run the ball on it, you don't want to play us.
So that'll be a good matchup up front. Big fellas and big fellas. Third and 9. Book slings it incomplete. He tried to get to Miles Boykin, and the Irish will kick it away halfway through this 4th quarter. And Doug, I guess the question a lot of folks are going to start to put out there, can Notre Dame be a championship team? Can they make the playoff, which would require them to run the table when you consider their one loss is going to look great if Georgia keeps going, because their one loss is to one of the best teams in the country by 1 single point.
They do need Georgia to continue to do what they're doing, win an SEC championship, because they don't have a championship game. They have a tough schedule the rest of the way. Ranked opponents, what they've done tonight will go a long way. But they're built like a championship team. They run the football and play great defense.
Jones got it on the run, slips and falls as he got across midfield, and he's marked down at the 48-yard line. Even if Georgia gets that SEC title game by winning the East and faces Alabama, that still might be good enough for Notre Dame. 7:13 left, 4th quarter.
I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck. Though you make my heart a wreck, make my heart a wreck, and you make my life a mess. Make my life a mess, yes, a mess of happiness.
While other insurance companies.
Patriots, Sunday Night Football on NBC.
Brian Kelly will move to 5-3 in his 8 meetings in this series. USC Notre Dame. Malapei with the run for a couple of yards. And when you look at the Notre Dame schedule, the way it plays out, each year they either go to Southern Cal or to Stanford. This year it will be heading out to play Stanford. We'll be here for NC State next week. Wake Forest for Saturday, November. Miami, which hung on to beat Syracuse today. They stay undefeated. Navy, and then the Cardinal out in Northern California. It's a heck of a schedule down the stretch here for the Irish.
One game at a time, Coach, because any one of those teams.
You see some of the Notre Dame opponents, their scores going by. Doug, I guess the talk of how far can this Notre Dame team go will reach another level, because tonight against a good team, and USC didn't play well, but against a good team, they've dominated this game.
This is impressive because of the way they ran the football and dominated the game from that standpoint, controlled athletes in space. USC has guys who can go 80 yards. From that standpoint, cold weather, bad weather, when they can't throw the football, that late season run, they can still line up and hammer the football. The variables get reduced.
That Finks pass was complete there to Randall Grimes, a freshman from Las Vegas. Makes his second catch. I think that's the key point you made, because when you see a team like USC, especially Notre Dame, what's the question? Speed, team speed. And Brian Kelly was very concerned about it. These guys can take it all the way to the house with any snap, but they have contained USC's speed. Now, Darnold and the mistakes early on contributed to this, but I think Notre Dame's got to walk out of here feeling like we can play with anyone.
We can play with anyone. Exactly the phrase I was going to use.
Am I thinking like you, or are you thinking like me?
I don't know. I've been around you a little too long now, Mike. It's got to change.
It's a scary proposition for either one of us. Trying to down it before it went over. In college football, it's where the ball is, not where the man is. Ball broke the plane. So at the next level, that jump up in the air before going over the goal line works. Not here. Ball broke the plane. It's a touchback. Irish get it at the 20 with 5:10 remaining. Complete post-game coverage, Notre Dame post-game show coming your way on NBCSN. As soon as we are done, highlights of the day, Brian Kelly will join Liam and Chris on the set. We'll talk to some Irish players as well. Catherine showed you the golden shillelagh before, the jeweled shillelagh. There are some of the medallions made at Images Jewelry in Elkhart, a family-run store here in the state of Indiana. They've been handcrafting those pieces for decades. And the shamrock with the emerald will be added to the shillelagh shortly. Dion McIntosh, the sophomore from Pompano Beach, Florida, checks into the game at over 100 yards against North Carolina. There is a flag down.
Personal foul. Block below the waist. Offense, number 70. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Calls on Hunter Biven as the backups are in. So here's what's ahead for USC. A very odd schedule. No off weeks. They play 12 consecutive weeks, and they'll close it out with the conference play. Arizona State went to Salt Lake City and beat Utah 30-10 today. So they'll go at ASU in the desert. Then play Arizona, who's in a battle with Cal in the fourth quarter right now. To Boulder to play the Buffs, who play Pac-12 after dark tonight against Wazoo, and then close it with the Victory Bell game against UCLA. And by Book will take it to the 23-yard line. And USC fans, I think you might know, in case you don't, your game next week is going to be a late game as well, as you go down to Arizona State, take on the Sun Devils.
Now, it's my understanding that the new shillelagh was not brought out here. It was not brought to South Bend for the trip.
Oh, so you mean the one USC won last year?
Yes.
Is not here.
It's not here.
Okay.
So do you have to go steal it? Do you have to go get it? Do they hide it?
Well, when you think of like Paul Bunyan's axe, the Wisconsin-Minnesota game, that axe sits on the other sideline. Guys run over and get it over the years. So you're telling me the shillelagh's in the mail?
It's in the mail.
It's like a check's in the mail.
It's on the way.
2nd and 8, a couple-yard run. You know, I mentioned that either year the Pac-12 opponent, SC or Stanford, one comes here and then the Irish go out there. The college football scheduling so messed up. We were talking with Jack Swarbrick, the athletic director at Notre Dame, on the field before the game. And this is one piece of the schedule that works. Notre Dame with such a great alumni network around the country, such a presence out in California. And Jack and his staff has been able to get the schedule set up so that every year Irish fans on the West Coast know Notre Dame's coming.
Now meetings between the beginning of the game and the walk this morning.
Yeah, just to talk to recruits families that are here, 13 official visits. And these are the weekends that you want. You tell the kids, hey, it's always 70 and sunny in late October in South Bend.
We get one bad weather game a year. It doesn't get cold till February.
Well, it was the ideal weekend for those dozen or so official visits and the 80-plus recruits who are on campus here this weekend. False start.
Offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
.259. You see a bunch of linemen that'll be up for awards this year. Brian Kelly's won National Coach of the Year award. At Notre Dame, when you do things on a team that is of a championship level, you get included in the conversation for the big awards, like All-American. We talked about that with McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson, the 2 offensive linemen. He got away from that punt, so it didn't hit the return team. Goes out of bounds at the 38. Doug, you start to wonder with Josh Adams having these kind of rushing games. He's already up to 960-plus yards. It's going to be over 1,000 yards here soon. He has 8 rushing touchdowns. You know, Notre Dame running back, who's one of the best in the country statistically, almost all the time would be included in the Heisman conversation. So as players whittle out, it'll be interesting to see if there's a build for Adams and his Heisman campaign, because you note this is another quarter where he has not played. This will be the 9th quarter this year for Notre Dame out of the 28 they've played that he has not seen the field. And still he's going to have impressive numbers.
His yards per carry are just crazy, and he should be for quarters that he's played and take that average.
Well, we know about Saquon Barkley in Penn State, and they're just cleaning out Michigan, and the Michigan offense that can't do a thing. 13 points. Bryce Love, who Notre Dame will see at the end of the year. Baker Mayfield and OU had a dramatic comeback. Mason Rudolph was really held in check by the Texas defense that went to overtime and lost by 3 in Austin, 13-10.
Barkley versus Michigan, first play of the game, takes off and goes long distance to the house.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that conversation does develop with a Notre Dame player having a season like that.
I think he should be in the mix.
Plenty of time to sort that out. Barkley had the 2 touchdowns rushing, also had 1 receiving touchdown tonight. Had 161 total yards, 108 on the ground, 53 on 3 receptions.
They lined him up in the Wildcat on the first play. Said, take the ball and go. Untouched.
Velus Jones with his 5th grab of the year as we get to the 209 mark. You know, Jerry Tillery was a player who we talked about coming into this game, going back to the game that happened last year at USC. And it was very clear. It was very unsportsmanlike plays that he made towards the end of that game with Cedric Ware, the running back, who was injured, and he put his foot to his head after a hard hit and then stopped on the ankle of Zach Benner, the offensive tackle for USC. He was pulled from the game. He apologized via social media and text, and reached out by phone to Clay Helton afterward. And when we talked to Brian Kelly about Tillery this week, he said it was an immature act. It was the public apology. It was internal counseling that was done as Fake makes the fair catch at the 16. But he said Tillery has grown. He has matured in everything on and off the field. And what was an embarrassing incident that really kind of encapsulated what Notre Dame's season was about last year. Really, you look at Tillery this year, and it's what Notre Dame's season this year is about. They've cleaned it up, they've turned it around, and they're doing it the right way.
Yeah, and talking to Jay Hayes, he said he took total accountability for it. He's never seen him more focused. And it's showing in his play on the field. 99 is everywhere. 99 is making sacks. And he is a worldly guy now. He's bright. He's intelligent.
Yes, he is.
He interacts with the regular students on campus more than he does football players sometimes. He is an intellectual. And it was out of character. And last year, he just showed the frustration of the season.
They're one of the favorites on this Notre Dame team amongst the players. Montgomery Van Gorder, the senior, is in to take the final couple of snaps for the Irish. He's the regular holder, usually signals in the plays. He's going to get the final few snaps here. Gummy, as he's known around this team. His dad was the defensive coordinator. Brian Van Gorder, now a defensive analyst at Oklahoma State. His son stuck it out after Brian was let go last year and earned the respect of a lot of folks around these parts. And he's one of the most popular players on this Notre Dame team.
No doubt about that. And they all enjoy the moment that he gets on the field. He had an opportunity once before, and this will be his second time.
Haven't seen this in a while here, huh? Talk about a difference a year makes.
Stealth. Totally unexpected.
In the regular season, right? Largest margin of victory in the series in a half century for the Irish. 51-0. They won in LA in 1966. A commanding performance as Wimbush and Darnold visit here. And a lot of questions to answer in a short period of time for a very disappointed USC team. Notre Dame 49, USC 14. Here's Catherine Tappan with Brian Kelly.
Coach, when was the last time you got the Gatorade dunk?
Last time we beat USC.
When you look at this win tonight and the dominating effort that your team has, what most stands out to you?
Well, just our football team has got a strong mental approach to how they play the game. They could have done more tonight, and it says a lot about their preparation. I told them last year, after we lost to SC, the build back started after that game, and you saw that tonight in terms of what they've done in a very short period of time.
Josh Adams, 3 touchdowns, averaging over 10 yards per carry. What can you say about the performance he had tonight?
You know, I'll tell you what, a great offensive line, but his ability to just keep coming after you. They tackled him in the first quarter. They tackled him in the second quarter. They couldn't tackle him in the third quarter.
Coach, thanks so much. Go join your team. Mike.
Joins him for the alma mater. Notre Dame, our mother, which is being sung with great pride and very different emotions than the many home disappointing games last year. A pretty dominant performance by the Irish. And they wait for their coach and get to sing the song that they look forward to, win or lose, but sounds much sweeter in victory. Folks, the Irish are for real. Brian Kelly told us, hey, the first half of the season was great, but they don't give Usain Bolt the gold medal at 50 meters. It's 100 meters. But 50 meters is usually where Usain Bolt started to hit stride, and the Irish are starting to hit stride. And when you're a good team and you win big games, you know what that means? The next game's a big game, and it will be next week back here, another matchup in the rankings with NC State. Brian Kelly's full press conference, NBCSports.com. Right here on your local NBC station, except for the West Coast. Local news is next. We're back here for Notre Dame, NC State. Another big matchup next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time on NBCSN. Right now, stay tuned for the postgame show. Rob Hyland, Pierre Moussa, our great team in the truck, taking care of business with Catherine Tappan and Doug Flutie, Mike Tirico. So long, and thanks for being with us on this winning Notre Dame Saturday on NBC.